Weird.
We can't all make declarations of hatred at the same time. Hi, everybody.
There are dozens of us. Dozens!
你好中国比较吸纳，我爱更尊重中。石油上。
Alson, help me up onto his casket so I can dance on it.
I don't care.
But how did you ever find us?
Oh, easy. We just read the screenplay you left us.
Glove gold! Glove gold! Glove gold!
You get nothing! You lose! Good day, sir!
I'll help you. Everything is sexist. Everything is racist. Everything is homophobic. And you have to point it all out.
Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
Huh? Zappuccino.
All right, it is Thursday night in Tooney Town, and that can only mean one thing. It is time for everyone's favorite pop culture podcast of the week. It is time for Tooney Talk TV. Folks, my name is Marvin, and I'm the Movie Monster, and it has been 2 weeks, so I am thrilled to be back here with all of you guys and all of my amazing friends here on the panel. We have a lot to talk about this week. J.K. Rowling is taking on the world. We have a Superman plot leak. We've got Matt Reeves not directing the Batman 2. Disney is going to Abu Dhabi. That's where you'll stay. Abu Dhabi. Just don't be gay. So it's, Disney is completely going back on all of its morals. It's been a big news week, guys, but I can't do this alone. You know what? First of all, I need my, my co-pilot, the guy with the person with the amount of strength and poise that you only get from being an enormously jacked black dude.
I sat here like, oh, Kevin made it. And then
I know, I was hoping you did. He's running late, but I've had that joke played for like 2 days.
I like it.
I just just the build up, and then there you are. There you are, all 5 pounds.
Giant black man of me.
Yeah, all 5 pounds of whiteness. Trish, how are you?
Okay, a little hopped up on Claritin D for all those people who understand allergies.
Mm-hmm.
Eyes feel like they want to just go. Like
does one get up on Claritin D? Does Claritin D give you a jolt?
It's the kind that's like supposed to not make you tired, except it makes me tired until I'm asleep, and then it wakes me up after 4 hours every time, and then I can't go back to sleep.
Well,
I understand it.
Maybe because it's like noon at that time.
No, it does that whenever I sleep.
Okay, I'm just saying.
Why do people act like people who have like night shifts are aliens? Like, I don't get it.
I'm just saying, Trish. You and Dracula have the same sleep schedule, and
good. He won't get me. He'll get all you.
Martin Stone is here.
Hey, Marvin. Trish, how's it going?
Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. You had a great article up on That Park Place today about Captain Gantu and Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah, I was happy to write that article.
I very much enjoyed reading it. It was excellent. I think you're working on some more. It's we have become a well-oiled machine over there at thatparkplace.com.
Yes, a machine of destruction and chaos.
Yes, the machine that creates the truth. The truth. Just nothing but, strong, hardy, meat-eating people. Well, and Nolan Thunder.
I heard that machine's well lubricated. It's what I heard.
What? Oh my goodness! What it would? I don't like what you're turning into.
Oh God!
I don't like the person you've become.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I love
brother. I loved you.
Listen, I learned things about Nolan, like the fact that he is a vegetarian.
Yeah, I don't like meat. I don't swing that way, man. Why is it so hard to grasp?
I do not approve of your life choices. You're leading a
I
life.
do know.
Why can't you accept me for who I am, Marv?
I
don't accept it
Thank
at all.
you, Trish, for supporting me.
I think it's brave of you to come forward and let the entire community know that. I mean, I don't support it.
I actually didn't let the entire community know it. The guy above me did, but I've had to live with it now. But
you made the mistake of saying it within like 0.2 seconds of arriving at Dollywood this past week, and I was whooping your rear end all week. But you know who else was? Lauren, you're muted.
You're going down a pathway I can't follow.
You are indeed. You are indeed. Lauren, how are you this week?
I'm surviving. How's everybody else?
Back to reality, back to normal. For those of you that don't know, Nolan, Lauren, and I were actually together last week and weekend. A bunch of us in the That Park Place community got together at Dollywood and just kind of explored that whole area with restaurants and camaraderie and Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. We saw Thunderbolts together. I mean, it was a whole we had some big time bonding. There's actually photographic evidence of it, guys. There's photographic evidence like this one right here. Yep. There we are. It was a good time. We got to experience a lot of our passions, like Nolan with vegetables.
That is an Amish market for those who don't know, and I think that guy behind me was very disturbed.
We went to an Amish market at one point, and Nolan just loaded up on vegetables that were likely grown in a very wholesome way. We also took Nolan to Buc-ee's for the first time ever.
It was. I got informed I must never ever refer to it as a gas station. If not, I think I'll be get the guillotine treatment.
When you called it a gas station, you almost got booted out of my car. And Lauren got to admire a Indiana Jones Bowie knife in a very large knife store.
Such a beautiful photo.
I wanted it so bad.
I know you did. There's no way you could have gotten it home.
I know, but
when we were at Dollywood, we saw Dolly Parton.
She brought out the big guns too.
Oh yes, she did.
Jealous.
My God, guys, they're real and they're spectacular.
Well, I don't know about real.
No, they're apparently real.
They are absolutely real.
Yeah. No, we've heard that they're
I like
real.
how Lauren says it like, I know from experience. They're real.
Yeah, no. We're pretty sure.
Things just move a certain way. You could tell.
We got to Dollywood the day that we were going into the park, and we got there, and Nolan was in my car, and we're about to get there, and I get a call from WW Pro, and he's like, Dolly Parton's here, and I was like, what? It's like as we're walking up, so it's like me, Nolan, Vash, and like Ron Bradley, and we're like jetting into the park. We were all super excited, guys. We were all on the edge of our seats. Well, almost all of us were on the edge of our seats.
Lorne.
Lorne was asleep.
Personally offended. Sleeping on Dolly like that. Get out of here.
Go ahead, Lord. What were you gonna say?
He has no excuse. He's done. He's done.
Oh my goodness. No, we had a absolutely amazing time. It was really good. Even finding out that Nolan doesn't eat meat.
Yay, healthy food.
It's not healthy food. Every time you pick something up, I was like, can your wrists support that?
Leave him alone.
Thank you, Trish.
Nolan.
Thank you.
I got you, Nolan. Don't worry.
Don't make excuses for his life choices, Trish, please. The second I heard it, I was like,
Action required. Action required.
big thanks to Martin Stone for making that, because that's my new favorite clip. So ready to dive into the news this week, guys? Have we jaw-jacked enough?
I think so.
There's
a lot out there to get to.
There is. So, gosh, I think we're going to have to start with probably the biggest and best news of the week. It is news that I am like, I saw and I was like, I cannot wait to discuss this on the show. And that news is that Amazon has secured the rights to Highlander and Henry Cavill will star. How we feeling, Lauren?
I do want to talk about a business opportunity with you, though.
Oh, what is that?
Well, see, I have set my price of a 5-figure payout with a decimal point behind those 5 figures, and it has to be in US dollars. And assuming that demand is met, I will watch Highlander 2 in all 3 versions. I committed to that. But I think what you ought to do is produce another T-shirt that says, I donated money to get Lauren to watch Highlander 2, and all I got was this stupid T-shirt.
That's an amazing idea.
Lauren's like, I know.
That is an amazing idea. I like that a lot. That might have to be one of them. But guys, if we get to $500 tonight, I'll reveal the last 2 T-shirt designs that we've got coming. But let's get into this story, Lauren. There's more Highlander on the way, and it stars our friend Henry Cavill. So in a major move that echoes the franchise famous line, there can be only one, Amazon MGM Studios and United Artists have secured the rights to reboot Highlander with Henry Cavill set to star and John Wick mastermind Chad Stahelski directing.
Ooh.
Yes, the deal marks a new chapter for the cult classic series that everyone loves, which has long awaited a modern revival worthy of its enduring legacy, Lauren.
I feel like this article is written at Lauren.
No, because Raven wrote this, and Raven has no idea that Lauren hates Highlander. So
it's certainly a take.
Final negotiations brought together UA veteran producer Scott Stuber and Stahelski's own 8711 Entertainment. Michael Finch, who co-wrote John Wick Chapter 4, is handling the screenplay, promising fans a sharp balance of lore, action, and character-driven storytelling. So, did you find that there was a lot of lore, action, and character-driven storytelling in the first one, Lauren?
When you said lore, I just about choked. They imply a lot of lore. I don't think they actually reveal very much.
The TV show does more of it. According to Deadline, the film is expected to hit theaters rather than streaming directly, reflecting Amazon's evolving push to balance cinematic spectacle with streaming dominance. Now, Cavill, who has carved out a reputation as both a charismatic action star and a dedicated fan of genre fiction, will step into a role that carries weight with longtime fans. His recent collaborations with Amazon include Warhammer 40K and the live-action Voltron adaptation, and that suggests that the studio might actually be betting on his box office pull and passion for world building. Of course, the original Highlander, released in 1986, following Scottish swordsman Conor MacLeod, played by Christopher Lambert, and his century-spanning battle against fellow immortals, including the unforgettable Kurgan. Blending historical flashbacks, high-stakes duels, and Queen's iconic soundtrack, the film was unlike anything else in its era. Though it spawned several sequels, an animated show, and a beloved TV series starring Adrian Paul, the franchise has never quite recaptured the same lightning-in-a-bottle success as with the original movie. Now, of course, Stahelski, who has become synonymous with tightly choreographed action and world-class stunt work, seems poised to reshape the mythos for modern audiences while honing its pulp roots. Therefore, fans can expect a new visual language for sword fights, urban battles, and the mystical underpinnings of the Immortals' existence. So, Lauren, I have to ask, does the John Wick guy and Henry Cavill make this sound like it might be something you might enjoy?
Here's the thing.
Okay.
I like Henry Cavill, but I haven't really liked a lot that Henry Cavill has been in. I like him as a personality, and I think that he is a dyed-in-the-wool geek who loves these properties. I don't think he's been real good at choosing his projects. And so I'm 50-50 on Henry Cavill. I like that a John Wick producer is attached here. But I think my pitch for this is that if you were going to do this, this seems to be in keeping with how serious people take this property. The way that you launch this thing, knowing that this is, I think, sort of a reboot, just bring, why can't I think of his name? Bring the Kurgan back. Clancy Brown. Yep. Don't even explain it. Just have him be the same Kurgan. It could be a reboot. It doesn't matter that they've reset everything else. It's just the same guy. We don't have to
40
explain
years
it.
later. Happy Halloween, ladies.
Yeah. I think, you know what? You do that. You got the stones to do that kind of thing. Maybe I'll go watch it.
Fantastic. Oh my gosh. So Trish, you are a Henry Cavill aficionado. Is his presence in this movie enough to make you want to go see it?
It should be, but I know how I am, so probably not. But that is not him.
What about for the show? If we wanted to do like a review of it for the show,
I mean, maybe I'll see.
I just know how I am. Monetize your pain.
Yeah.
What you have to do is learn how to grift on this stuff, folks. we can be bought. It's gonna cost you, but it's worth it.
I don't know. I feel like asking the chat to pay Trish to do stuff is a dangerous road.
Yeah. I feel like we're just a stone's throw away from other things.
Guys,
don't go talking about any bathwater.
I'm shameless. What Trish won't do, I will.
Let's move on.
Oh my goodness! But you know what I forgot to say at the top of the show, guys? That this show is made for you guys and funded by you guys, and we count on your generous super chats and gifted memberships to get us by day to day and keep the lights on around here. So we do, read your super chats throughout the show, and we stop to break between various news articles to get through them. But we do break for super chats of $50 or more. So if you super chat 50 or more, or you give it the appropriate, I think it's 10 memberships would be $50. Then we stop and we talk about whatever you want to talk about. So let's see what you guys have to say. Chef Eddie joined in the Tooney Town Titans level. So welcome, Chef Eddie. Regina Sharp for $20 says won't be here tonight. But I didn't have this queued up.
Glom gold! Glom gold! Glom gold! Glom gold!
It is going to take time to eat and sleep. Thank you, Regina Sharp. I love that headcanon now that you work at Glock. Chef Eddie says, "Is Trish gonna have a $99 tech service like Mercedes Monet?" your hero Sasha Banks, who you have the the legit boss stuff that you've got for her. She's now doing a thing where you are able to text her for $99 a month, and it's definitely not an AI chatbot.
No, absolutely not.
I'm sure it's not. I'm sure
you can text me for $49 a month. I'm much cheaper.
Yeah. And then Chef Eddie says,
yourself, Lauren.
Chef Eddie says, and for Regina Sharp.
Glom gold! Glom gold! Glom gold! Glom gold!
Oh my goodness. Oh, here's our old friend All B Booty Bees and Bacon with Big B's for $5. Says the Thunderbolts movie was good. I will give it 4 slices of bacon. We are going to talk a bit about Thunderbolts later, and we'll give some of our thoughts on it as we talk about, what it's doing as far as the box office and whatnot. But oh my God, I'm trying to see what that picture is. Well, I mean, I can already see.
I think we know who it is by certain attributes, accoutrement.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Johnny Cage for $5 says Marv looks like Elmo's cousin on his way to San Diego Comic-Con. Dude, that's funny. Oh my goodness. Andre Adams for $1.99 says one gorilla versus Pedro Pascal and his closet. So this is a take on the one gorilla versus 100 men conversation, and I maintain that 100 men can defeat one gorilla. I think
easily.
Pure numbers.
Yep.
Now 100 Pedro Pascals cannot. That gorilla is having an easy time with that one.
There's really no telling what's in Pedro's closet, though. Is there R. Kelly? Is there just a lot of other woman?
I think it's just all his crazy outfits. I think it's just his horrible outfits.
I see you, Martin.
Yeah. Lauren, what were you about to say?
Oh, I think it just depends on how he chooses to engage. It's like if you have 100 Pedro Pascals because he's used something like Calvin's transmogrifier, Calvin always planned to use his clones to do his homework. And of course, they were clones of him, so none of them would do the homework.
Exactly.
Pedro would do the same kind of thing, I think. So they would just all flee. If they were able to coordinate, I think Pedro could still do it.
This is starting to feel like the time everyone got into a debate over cavemen or astronauts. And I had fun watching you all figure out cavemen or astronauts.
Because cavemen wouldn't stand a chance against astronauts.
Cavemen would absolutely beat.
Trish, we're more advanced. We've evolved.
Yeah,
well, that's actually part of the problem.
Take away your cell phone. See how well you do. The cavemen win it every single time.
So I say in the initial conflict, cavemen take it. But if any astronauts survive, they can regroup and strategize and then take it in a long-term conflict, but not in that initial conflict.
The caveman just comes at you. You step to the side and the caveman's confused.
Right, but astronauts are not like John Glenn anymore. They're like mission specialists. And
no.
Katy Perry.
The ones that we're talking about are like John Glenn, Buzz Aldrin astronauts. Like these are.
That's not who I was talking about.
Yeah, no, if we're talking about like the Korean War veteran astronauts, yes, I'll give it to you.
I'm still with you, Lauren.
I think you're underestimating caveman. I think they were a lot more clever than you give them credit for. These are things that invented tools, that learned how to master fire, that survived the elements and creatures much larger and more dangerous than them because they had brains. We think of cavemen as dumb. We came from them, buddy. They had to be clever to survive. Those cavemen will rock those astronauts' boats.
I don't know.
Or rockets, spaceships, if you will.
Okay, well now here one of my favorites is: could you defeat 100 kindergartners in battle?
Easily.
No, there's no organization there.
Well, no, I mean, look, these are pissed off kindergartners, man. Like they're coming at you, like they're coming for blood.
They need their juice.
No, you can disarm them with a few words. Reveal the truth of Santa Claus.
What? That he's awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, what are you trying to say there, Lauren?
I think if you say anything against Santa Claus, you're just gonna make them mad. You're just gonna make them madder, and they don't need to be madder. These are mad kindergartners.
I didn't mean to say that in front of Nolan. Nolan, plug your ears.
It's very quickly going to become like Pikmin when they want to feast. That's what it's going to become like. So.
Lauren doesn't like Pikmin either, though. So.
Honestly, you just tuck her about. They'll throw a tantrum for a while, and then they'll take a nice long nap.
But so why can 100 men beat a gorilla, but 100 kindergartners can't beat one Lorne Connor?
This should be bleedingly obvious. It's
I think it's kind of the same thing.
A gorilla is hellaciously strong, but men coordinated can tie down its limbs and take away its advantage. Kindergartners, they're not going to coordinate. They're easily manipulated. I could turn half the bunch against themselves pretty easily. All you got to do is claim.
So you're fighting you're fighting a mental war, whereas like most people come with the strategy of just like, well, I'll just get into an alleyway and make sure like they have to funnel at me like 2 at a time. But you're like fighting a psychological battle against the kindergartners.
I'm raising kids. It is a psychological battle.
Expediency. Yep, absolutely. Because believe me, when they hit the teens, they will turn that battle around and wreck you. So you got to take them when they're young.
That makes sense. 100 Nolan Thunders versus one of you.
Like one of me or one of somebody on the...
No, like one of you, Lauren. Like one of you versus 100 Nolans. Keep in mind they don't eat meat. Not a single one of them. Not a scratch.
Keep in mind I own a lot of sharp weapons over here.
No.
Really?
Weapons
They're
don't
not covered in...
If the astronauts don't get weapons, then neither does Nolan Thunder.
You haven't blunted them with cork?
Got it.
He's not British.
I don't know. What do you think, Nolan? Could 100 of you take me?
Definitely.
All right. What's your strategy? See, this is how I get.
Just bring a copy of Highlander 2. You'll run and hide.
All you got to do is pay me. You pay me, and I'll watch the stupid thing.
Which is why, guys, in our beautiful audience, hint, hint.
See, look, Sam Wolf, Life of a Military says, Lauren, hate to disagree with you. They will not all take a nap at the same time. Therefore, your tactic does not work.
That really depends on how badly you tucker them out. I guarantee you run them around long enough, they're going to drop.
I don't think you're outrunning them, though. Sam Wolf, Life of Military also says, 100 kindergartners win hands down every time. Trust me, I've worked in an elementary school. I would think it would be like a zombie horde eventually, where it just kind of overtakes you.
Well, I guess it's a theory. My other strategy, if I was not able to turn them against each other, devastate them psychologically, or funnel them into a place where I could smack them down, would be to just bring them into my own toy room and have them get involved with all of the awesome stuff that I have so that they're not paying attention to me.
So you're going to bribe them with your awesome collection of toys. They'll break them all.
And then you pick them off one by one.
Oh,
okay. The key is you don't allow them to coordinate. You don't allow them to come at you en masse. You distract them, you stupefy them, you mentally stun them, anything that's necessary to crush their little spirits.
Master Lauren, there's too many of them. What are we going to do?
Yeah, Lord's been trading for this all his life. Oh, Nolan.
Do you have any opinions on Darmok and Jalad at Tanagra?
Lauren, Nolan Thunder gifted 1 Tooney Town TV membership. Thank you, Nolan. BPE special for $20 and no message.
We love you, BPE.
Master Puppets for $2 says Trish next in Supernatural season 5 episode 15. Great show.
Wow, that's awesome. You made a lot of progress. It's pretty far because the last time you mentioned you were only you were in season 3. You were in the first half of season 3, so it's pretty awesome. Yeah, I love seasons 3, 4, and 5 are chef's kiss.
You and Kiwi for $1.99 says Trish is here. I can rest easy now.
Don't worry, you're good.
They're all worried, I guess. Jason C for $2 says no words can express the joy of Trish.
That's what I do.
I told you the Trissionaries, man, they're everywhere. Real Rain 89 for $10 says so vegan Nolan went into a Buc-ee's and Marv didn't force feed him jerky. You both deserve workplace write-ups. Hey man, I took him. Nolan, did I not take you to the beef jerky counter and try to convince you?
You did. You also took me to that bakery area with the giant cinnamon roll, and oh my god, that was tempting.
Mm-hmm. I also took you to the barbecue area to watch them chopping the brisket, and I was like, "Come on, man, smell that!" That's how I knew you were real. That's how I knew you were actually a vegetarian. Because if you could smell that barbecue and not be like, you know what, I'm gonna rethink my life choices, then you're legitimately a vegetarian. You passed.
Oh, and it's tempting too. That's one of my pet peeves are those fake vegetarians, who just kind of go wishy-washy with it, no offense to the audience, but I like commitment.
Except for steak.
Yeah. And I used to be a carnivore, so I know bacon is freaking fire. I think all B's and B's would be in agreement to that one. So,
but you still don't eat it, so it's just willpower.
Yeah, it takes a lot of willpower, which is why I have faith I would eat Lauren.
John Williams for $4.99 says Marv got sick because Dis poisoned him again, but Nolan told him how. That might have happened.
Well, you might be earning it with Nolan.
No, I had to.
He's giving him.
I had to cancel the game stream last night and the member stream just because I was so out of it. Like I was just so
really?
Yeah. Oh, I've been napping. I don't nap. I don't ever nap. Like I'm just so worn out. Like I mean, look, like we were at the end of the day at Dollywood, and like me and Lauren and Nolan and Vesh, like we're looking at each other like kind of ready to call it a day, and everyone else just wanted to keep on going, so we kept on going. And, oh my goodness, I felt every year of my life, and then we had to drive down Death Mountain.
And I started, for those in the audience, just I did start playing the Link to the Past Death Mountain music, and
yeah, you weren't helpful. It was we had to drive over the darkest, scariest, most windingest mountain in the planet while
in the rain.
Yeah, in a torrential downpour both ways. And I'm like white knuckled on the steering wheel, like, and then this vegetarian loving MF over here is sitting there going like, you know how many things could kill you in the woods? Like, what was the thing you mentioned?
Skinwalkers.
Oh, he's like, skinwalkers. And I literally said, Nolan, this is not the time to start talking about skinwalkers.
That's your comeuppance for all the resin you were giving him about being a vegetarian.
If we died, he was going down too.
Never piss off a vegetarian. Worth it, homie. It was worth it.
Sacrifice he was willing to make, Marv.
I would pay to watch a live stream of Marvin driving through Appalachia up and down those roads while Nolan talks about conspiracy theories at him.
No, so I'm like a nervous driver. Like I drive very slow. Kevin Apollo has said that he's wanted to choke me while I've been driving before because of how slow I drive. Like, so when I was 16, I was in driver's ed and they showed us this video from like the 70s that was called Mechanized Death. I saw that one. And it was like, yeah, and it's like horrifying, right? And it's like real, like clips from real like car accidents and like real dead bodies. And like the point of it is that it's supposed to scare you into being a defensive driver. It only worked on me, no one else. What is happening right now?
Lauren.
What is happening? Is that like torture? You're gonna give like the first like little bit of a classic song, and then we're gonna all be like, oh, you have to hear the rest of it.
I want to hear
referencing Deliverance, right?
Yeah, but I want to hear if you do the finger picking.
I was like, what'd you say?
All right. Tyler Galasinski, member for 8 months, says Tooney Town superior, WPO inferior, Soundwave voice. And after watching 2 episodes of, no, we don't do that. I think are you saying like Pro's? No, Pro's channel is better than my channel. Stop it. Yeah, we don't contrast and compare channels over here, guys.
Anyway.
Yeah, it's very different. Very different on purpose. It's different because you already have one thing. Why would you need 2 of it? All right, so we're gonna take a quick break from the super chats and get back into the news this week, and we are going to move over to our old friend J.K. Rowling because she is in basically a war for her life right now. Well, not for her life. She's just really, really angry at people. So Harry Potter author J.K. Rowling fires back after Snape actor Papa Isidu signs letter opposing UK ruling on gender issues. So
before you get going on the article, in the picture you have in the background, her hair matches your fur. It's like the same color practically.
Oh,
yeah.
How about that?
I noticed it right before I came up, and I'm like, maybe there's a relation there.
It's we're in sync, I guess. So J.K. Rowling has already found herself at odds with Snape actor Papa Isidu ahead of the upcoming HBO Harry Potter series. The divide surrounding HBO's upcoming series has deepened as several Potter franchise actors, both past and present, signed an open letter opposing the United Kingdom Supreme Court decision affirming that the legal definition of sex refers to biological sex. Among the signatories were Fantastic Beasts star Eddie Redmayne, original film series actress Katie Lung. I know what you're saying. Who? She played Cho Chang. and most notably Papa Isidu, who will portray Severus Snape in the new television adaptation. The open letter, which drew over 2,000 signatures from within the entertainment and academic industries, claimed that the court's ruling undermines the lived reality and threatens the safety of individuals who identify differently from their birth sex. It prompted backlash across social media, with critics and supporters of J.K. Rowling once again colliding in a very public debate. Now, Rowling, who has celebrated the UK's court decision as a win for sex-based rights, posted a lengthy essay on X addressing the letter and those who signed it. She said, in light of recent open letters from academia and the arts criticizing the UK's Supreme Court ruling on sex-based rights, it's probably worth remembering that nobody sane believes or has ever believed that humans can change sex, or that binary sex isn't a material fact. These letters do nothing but remind us of what we know only too well, that pretending to believe these things has become an elitist badge of virtue. I often wonder whether the signatories of such letters have to quieten in their consciences before publicly boosting a movement intent on removing women's and girls' rights, which bullies gay people who admit openly they don't want opposite-sex partners, and campaigns for the continued sterilization and sterilization of vulnerable and troubled kids. Do they feel any qualms at all while chanting the foundational lie of their religion? So yeah, she went pretty pretty big on that one. So she also said, some argue the signatories of these sorts of letters are motivated by fear for their creators, of course, fear for their careers, of course, but also fear of their co-religionists, who include angry, narcissistic men who threaten and sometimes enact harm on non-believers, backstabbing colleagues, ever ready to report wrongthink, the online shamers and doxers, and of course, the influential zealots in the upper echelons of liberal professions. Man, she stopped short of naming specific individuals, but her remark came shortly after Papa Isidu confirmed his participation in the upcoming HBO series. Now, despite his name appearing on the open letter, this prompted some online to call for his removal from the project. But Rowling addressed those demands directly in another post, said, I don't have the power to sack an actor from the series, and I wouldn't exercise it if I did. I don't believe in taking away people's jobs or livelihoods because they hold legally protected beliefs that differ from mine. AKA,
good.
J.K. Rowling struck back at cancel culture.
I find it curious that she says she doesn't have the power to do it.
I think she does have the power, but I mean,
think she's lying about it.
I think she's lying about that. Yeah, I don't think she's above lying.
Well, she may not have the hard power to do it. Like, it may not be something that could contractually happen, but she probably has the soft power to do it.
Yeah.
Look, at the end of the day, anything Harry Potter that Warner Brothers wants to do in the future is going to need her say so. And she is the last person on earth that they want to tick off.
It doesn't matter. They've already ruined it for themselves.
Well, my thing is, for Papa Isidu, I'm like, well, if you feel this strongly, what are you doing in this series? Why not quit?
I'm just going to say he knows how to cash the check, though.
Yeah.
To work on her stuff.
Take a moral stance. Leave with your head held high, knowing that you've done the right thing, and let's just cast Adam Driver instead.
No,
the way it should have been.
Yeah,
agreed.
Assuming he wants to do it. I always put that little caveat in there because we'll fan cast him. What if you do want to do it?
Now, you know what? I do want to point out something Real Rain 89 just said in the chat. Never forget, J.K. Rowling was in favor of cancel culture before 2019. Yes, she was. People do change over time. You know, people do. They change their way of thinking through the years, and I think the period of time between 2019 and 2022 kind of rattled us all and kind of forced us all to maybe examine what we believe in the world. I know it certainly did for me.
I'm a little out of the loop here. How was she in favor of cancel culture prior to 2019?
I mean, I think she was just like a very outspoken liberal for the most part.
But was she actually involved in the cancellation of anybody, or?
I don't remember. I want to say that there was something, but I don't remember like 100% off the top of my head. Around 2019, I think was when people started getting on her case. So I think that was kind of the beginning of her kind of shift to basedness.
Sort of.
But yeah, I mean, I like that she's like, hey, I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna take away a guy's job just because he disagrees with me. He's allowed to disagree with me. We're adults. So I applaud that.
Yeah, but then the petty side of me is like, well, it would be nice because it would help the show.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, I get it, but there's the part of me that's just like, whatever.
Yeah. I get you, Trish. I get you. I mean, you're gonna watch the show at least, though, right? When it comes out. What about for the show?
No, this is a moral thing. I'm not watching it. They said it was going to be faithful, and they are not only not making it faithful, they are not making it faithful in the most stupid, dumbass way.
You're doing this wrong. Monetize it. Make people pay you to watch it. I guarantee you, there's money in this. Just set a number, compromise your principles, go through the pain, profit.
That's what she's doing, Lauren. Let her work.
Yeah, this is the opening salvo. This is I would never do this.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
It's a negotiating position.
So that's not the only thing that J.K. Rowling was in the news for recently. J.K. Rowling appears to fire back at Pedro Pascal after the heinous loser insult with cheeky photo swap on X. Now, she did not respond to him directly, and I think that makes her response even better. So weeks after Pedro Pascal hurled an insult at J.K. Rowling, calling the Harry Potter author a heinous loser over gender issues, the backlash hasn't faded, it's shifted. What started as a blunt remark posted to Instagram has evolved into a culture war moment fueled by Rowling's subtle symbolic replies that put the final nail in the drama. She didn't just brush off the attack, she dismissed Pascal entirely while winking at the audience. In late April, Pedro Pascal, star of The Mandalorian and The Last of Us, obviously lobbed an insult at her, called her a heinous loser. And here's what happens. Rowling never addressed Pascal by name, but not long after the insult, she updated her banner image on X to show a row of dolls. No caption, no explanation. So there's the picture right there. You notice the dolls all kind of have like rainbowy hair. Mm-hmm. So it might have been overlooked except for one detail. Pedro Pascal had previously worn a shirt reading "Protect the Dolls."
Because I was like, what is that? Like, I don't get it.
Yeah, well, now you get it. He wore the Protect the Dolls shirt to the Thunderbolts premiere. It was a phrase embraced by gender activists. Many interpreted Rowling's banner change as a subtle jab, her way of turning the insult on its head without saying a word. Now, while she's never confirmed the connection, Rowling has a long history of using indirect gestures, visual cues, and layered sarcasm to respond to critics. Now, the only way she came almost directly to say it was James Dreyfus sounded off on X, and he said, thoughts and prayers for J.K. Rowling today after the tongue lashing she's received from Nicola Coughlan and Pedro Pascal. I'm sure she'll reflect on her heinous loser and FAT crimes and issue a double-spaced written apology any day now. And she said, I can't be bothered to Google who are they. So
I seriously don't know who Nicola Coughlan is. Who was that?
Neither do I. No, just pure dismissal from
I had to
the
ask
Queen of Sass.
I had to ask an AI what the Protect the Doll shirts are about. And it turns out those stupid shirts cost hundreds of dollars.
Of course they do.
Did Disney produce
monetize it? This is the key. It's like this is merchandising. Come on, get on board with the game. Raise the prices on the shirts. Make them exclusive. You're actually. You're of the upper crust if you can afford these movie monster T-shirts. Believe me, people will want to be you if they see you wearing them. Buy two.
But yeah, no, it's all a grift. Like, you know, a lot of it's insane. I mean, just a shirt like that says "Protect the Dolls" costs hundreds of dollars. That's absolutely insane. But one guy who is not going, we know Papa Asidu is clearly not quitting the show over all of this, but we know someone else who's also not quitting. John Lithgow has confirmed that he will not quit the Harry Potter series over J.K. Rowling gender controversies. Quote, why is this a factor?
It's because he's 80.
Yeah, he does not. He's beyond caring.
And it's like he lived so much of his life in a time where this stuff was just not an issue. So he's just like, you know.
Yep. He just wants to go act. John Lithgow has made it clear that outside pressure will not influence his involvement in HBO's upcoming Harry Potter television series. In a new interview with the Times of London, the 79-year-old actor addressed the controversy surrounding J.K. Rowling and the backlash he has personally received since signing on to play Albus Dumbledore. Now, Lithgow said he absolutely did not expect the negative reaction from Rowling's critics. I don't know how you could have not expected it unless you just don't know anything about these people. But he remains unfazed. Of course, it was a big decision because it's probably the last major role I'll play. It's an 8-year commitment commitment, so I was just thinking about mortality, and that is a very good winding down role. But before officially accepting the role, Lithgow shared that a close friend, a mother of a child who identifies differently from their birth sex, sent him an open letter about Rowling titled An Open Letter to John Lithgow. Please walk away from Harry Potter. He described it as the canary in the coal mine, revealing the extent of the organized push against projects associated with Rowling. It did not, however, deter him. So when he was asked if the backlash made him reconsider joining, he responded with the most John Lithgow line ever, saying, "Oh, heavens, no."
Yeah, I can hear him saying it.
Yeah. He questioned why Rowling's views on gender should impact his work. I thought, why is this a factor at all? He noted that he had not yet met Rowling, but expressed curiosity about eventually speaking with her. Lithgow's casting was officially confirmed earlier this year. He described the opportunity as bittersweet, admitting that the scale and duration of the commitment were factors he carefully considered. So there you go. John Lithgow, veteran actor, pretty cool guy. Oh, heavens, no.
The dude played Churchill, and you think an open letter is going to dissuade him?
Oh yeah, for real. How much method acting do you think went into playing Churchill there? John Lithgow, as I honestly think he's one of the greatest actors of his time. He nails every role he gets, whether it's comedic, whether it could be the silliest, stupidest role on the planet, like Third Rock from the Sun when he was the High Commander, or one of the most intense dramatic roles like the
Back Bay Butcher.
Yes. That was Dexter, right?
Yeah,
that was what they called. Couldn't remember what they called his.
I loved him in Orange County. He has this line where he's shouting into a phone, "I will eat your face."
That's so funny.
Did you know that he played Yoda?
Did he?
No, I didn't know
he
that.
Did. In the Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi radio dramas, he was Yoda.
Oh,
wow. Yeah. So Lauren and I listened to a little bit of these Star Wars radio dramas, and my gosh, they're really cool. It was funny. We're listening to it in the car and we're driving, and I'm like, man, that guy that plays Luke sounds a lot like Mark Hamill. And Lauren's like, it is Mark Hamill.
Yep. Yeah, and there's a lot of expanded scenes in there that you don't get to see in the movie. Either cut scenes or invented. One that I wanted to play for you that we didn't get the chance to is you get to hear the entire torturous interrogation of Princess Leia by Darth Vader. And I think you would like that.
Interesting. And by the way, Lady Phoenix says he was the Trinity Killer. That's correct. That sounds more familiar. In Dexter, he was the Trinity Killer.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah,
Somebody's the Back Bay Butcher, right?
No, the something Bay Butcher is Dexter.
Okay.
The Bay Harbor Butcher.
Bay
I think
Harbor.
it was.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's when they find the at the bottom of the bay all of the bodies that he had dumped there.
Okay.
So, the Trinity Killer. He was terrifying as the Trinity Killer.
Didn't he win an Emmy for that? I feel like he did.
I wouldn't be shocked. Has he ever won an Oscar?
That I don't know. I want to say no, but
interesting. All right. Well, we got some more of your super chats to get to here, guys. Let's see. Andre Adams for $2, bringing us our total up to 105 for the night. Says 100 Nolan versus anything is easy work.
Hey, Marv, question. Did his money go through already?
It did. Okay,
you suck. Okay, we can move on.
No, you don't want that fight, Nolan. Andre Adams is the king of the roast. John Williams for $4.99 says the computer keeps rejecting the website for the t-shirt, so I'm having trouble ordering a shirt. This is Nolan's fault. Bring that up with Awful if you can, for our Tooney Town Wrestling t-shirt. So that is Awful works with our with our partner on that. So
Marvin,
yeah,
I think you missed Anthony's.
I missed Anthony's.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Sorry, Anthony. He said, wait, I think I missed a couple of them here.
I think you got Liquid Foxes, didn't you?
Yes. No, I didn't get Liquid Fox either. Liquid Fox for $5 Canadian says, why is it Nolan's fault? Because vegan. Mystery solved, but the mystery in 17 days? A simple answer, but one that will bring joy and anger. $2.35. I get what you're saying now, Liquid Fox. Okay, so I just want to make sure that I'm counting correctly here. Yep. Okay. Anthony J for $10 says, question for Lorne. My mother told me that at the beginning of Empire, the reason why Mark Hamill's face was cut up was he's hanging upside down was because he was in a car accident. Is this true?
Absolutely true. He spun out in a Corvette and did serious damage to his face. There was actually a cut scene from the movie where they were going to show that they were doing some reconstruction on his face. They had some gauze as a bandage across half of it, but that scene got cut. But that's why he looks so much different. He really did pretty much tear off half of his face.
Yikes.
Ugh, that sounds gross.
That's also why in the holiday special, he's wearing like 9 pounds of pancake makeup.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've never seen it, but logically.
Jason C for $2 says,
what is that image?
It's Mark taking a pony.
It's me trying to think about it. I think Mark could take a pony. So I brought this up on the wrestling channel on Tuesday. We were talking about the gorilla thing, and I said, I brought it up one time when we were by like a horse stable, and I said to somebody, I was like, do you think I could fight that pony and win? Like, not a horse. I'm not like, I don't think I can beat up a horse, but like, I'm pretty sure I could take a pony. Right?
They're pretty nasty.
Magic.
But yeah, you probably can.
I don't know. I don't know how much punishment.
The silence was pretty golden, though. I think it's
for real, guys. Thanks for your faith in me there. I can whoop that pony's butt.
Next week, there's going to be a video of Marv at a petting zoo.
getting thrown out because I tried to spin kick a pony and fell on my face. That was what I said. I said, one spin kick, I think I can take it. Tyler Golosinski for $4.99 says, I didn't think it was possible, but after watching the Fantastic Four trailer, the guy who played Johnny Storm seems worse than Pedro Pascal. Worse. Yeah, no, he's terrible.
Yeah.
The kinder, gentler Johnny Storm.
Actor.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe he acts well in other things. He's Eddie from Stranger Things. But his take on Johnny Storm does not seem accurate. What were we saying?
The thing that pulls me out of it is Ben Grimm. He doesn't sound like Ben. He doesn't have the accent.
Yeah. I really liked the way Michael Chiklis played him. I liked Michael Chiklis's voice. I liked how it was still like the New York accent, but it had like that rocky, like graveliness to it. It was perfect, but you know, we didn't appreciate the things that we had when we had it. Master of Puppets member for 5 months says, Marvin, don't be a defensive driver. Be assertive. Personally, I love going fast. I don't want to die. So, you know, I tend to go around the speed limit. It's also why I drive everywhere, because I don't trust anybody else. Like, I prefer to be the one driving. Denver Dollface for $5 says, I'm just a Tooney Town wrestling guy. I don't know or care about anything you're talking about here. I'm just here for Trish. Okay, cool. I appreciate the $5 to say that. Wayne Moonlight member for 2 months says, so good to see you guys. Much love to you all. Hey, back at you, Wayne Moonlight. Hope things are going well for you, my friend.
Thank you. Love the username.
Let's see. John Williams for $5. Just marking that down. 127. Says Rowling hates the tease. It took Rowling to admit for It took Rowling to admit it for crazy libs to notice, despite it being obvious for years. Yep. And Maddie for $2 says, all of you rock, but in Trish we trust. I'm telling you, man.
Thank you, Maddie.
Trishy Town TV. Andre Adams for $1.99 says 100 Nolans versus 100 Pascals, the ultimate slap fight.
Pedro's easy. All you gotta do is breathe at him funny and he falls over.
Yeah, probably. See, that brings us to 131.
I really don't think it's fair, Andre, being the king of roasts, and Nolan can't even eat roast.
Exactly. Well, no. You know, we went to a Brazilian steakhouse type deal where like they bring the meat to the table and they cut it off the skewer for you. And I felt bad because Nolan's just eating salad bar, but then they brought out a grilled pineapple and he was able to actually like go with the experience.
My people. These are my people. Good? Yeah, it was actually all right.
I like grilled pineapple.
That restaurant was amazing.
So I would try grilled pineapple.
That restaurant was really good. All bee booty bees and bacon with big bees for $2. Just I will take on a gorilla for you guys. Oh my gosh, he has the Trish t-shirt on it.
We love you all, bee booty bee.
Oh my goodness, I love it so much. You guys are amazing.
Okay.
So, see, Chef Eddie says I could beat one of those ponies. Brad Becker says it too.
See, you got supporters. This might not be us on the panel, but you've got supporters.
No, really, Marvin, it's not an issue of whether or not you could physically take the pony. I just don't think you have the heart to take the pony.
You think I'd get there and like I'd grow a conscience and be like, oh man.
Yeah.
It might be.
I could definitely see you cutting a promo on a pony.
Yeah, probably. Like, who do you think you are? You're not a horse. You're not, like, yeah, probably.
You're not a horse.
They're not.
Commit to something.
Yeah, like, I want to know the difference though between a miniature horse like little Sebastian and like a pony. Like, because a pony is
huge difference. Miniature horses are like midget ponies. Like they are really short.
Okay. Okay.
But a pony can actually be a substantial size, so it looks kind of like a little horse.
I didn't know Nolan was an equestrian. I'm gonna know all about horses.
That's why he doesn't eat meat, because he knows a lot about the animals.
Be afraid, guys. Be afraid.
The things they've told me.
It's not out of love. It's out of fear.
So sticking with the Warner Brothers motif that we've got going on currently, Matt Reeves is no longer directing The Batman Part 2. Sequel set for production in 2026 with no director attached. Batman Part 2 is moving forward, but apparently not under the direction of Matt Reeves. According to a newly released listing from Production Weekly, Reeves is no longer attached as director of the upcoming DC sequel and is now only credited as the film's screenwriter. The production is currently aiming for a March 2026 shoot in London with a revised release date of October 1st, 2027. Now, this news marks a dramatic shift for a franchise that Reeves helped shape from the ground up. The 2022 release of The Batman was met with critical acclaim and a strong box office showing, leading Warner Brothers to announce a full trilogy with Reeves at the helm. But the sequel has since experienced multiple production delays and now the departure of its original director. So Matt Reeves originally pitched The Batman as the first installment of a grounded trilogy exploring a younger, less refined version of Bruce Wayne, drawing inspiration from noir detective stories and crime sagas like Zodiac and Chinatown. Reeves emphasized a psychological depth to Gotham's characters. In interviews following the first one's release, he spoke about building a rich world that could sustain multiple films and spin-offs, including the HBO Max Penguin series, which released to critical acclaim. I loved that series. That Penguin series was so good. While Reeves has not publicly disclosed the reasons behind his step back, speculation has been quietly building for months. In January, Forbes writer Paul Tassi hinted at the situation. He said, "I heard what Reeves is going through, and no, I'm not going to say what it is, but I will say it's serious and people need to back off." And then, of course, we talked about this a few weeks ago. Grace Randolph referenced the Reeves situation in a video, controversially comparing it to that of the late Chadwick Boseman. Her statement drew significant backlash online, with many criticizing the comparison as inappropriate and speculative. So what's next for the sequel? The Batman Part 2 remains in active development. Robert Pattinson, Colin Farrell, Jeffrey Wright, and Andy Serkis are all expected to return, and Reeves remains on board as a co-writer alongside Mattson Tomlin. It's obviously been delayed both times. Now, as a couple months ago, I had heard they didn't even have a script yet. So, Lorne, do you think that the Batman, because I know you have got a lot of opinions on the Batman, do you think that Matt Reeves' fingerprints are essential to this sequel?
It's hard to say. I had mixed feelings about the Batman. I thought it was, in many ways, the best depiction of Gotham City that I think I'd ever seen.
Yeah.
But the movie itself kind of left me cold. I thought it did a lot of things right. It took inspirations from the right material. It was reverent in the places it needed to be reverent. It did things differently in places it needed to do things differently. I'm still a bigger fan of the Christopher Nolan Batman movies. We talked a little bit about that last week. Your and my opinions on that differ a little bit. I know that there was a lot of difficulty in getting the Batman made. There was a lot of friction between Matt Reeves and Robert Pattinson during the filming of that movie. It was kind of a behind-the-scenes disaster is what I had heard. So I'm curious if maybe stepping away from it will make the production process go more smoothly. Whatever happens, I hope that Matt Reeves takes care of himself and gets into a better situation. And one way or another, I hope they're successful at producing something good.
Absolutely. You know whose opinion I really want to get on this? Kevin Apollo is here, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back, my friend.
What's going on, gang?
We're just talking about the Batman Part 2. No Matt Reeves.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yep. So I'm not sure when you popped into the backstage area, but Matt Reeves. So it's been announced that the movie is going to be. Production Weekly stated that they're starting in 2026. Reeves is listed as the screenwriter, but there is no director listed, which basically means that he's not directing this movie.
Yeah.
And we've heard that he has a personal situation, but do you think that the Batman is like intrinsically tied to Matt Reeves? Like, will it be very different in the hands of somebody else?
No, because Matt Reeves wrote the first one, right?
Yeah, he wrote this one too.
I think there'll be enough of his vision in the script that the changes will be subtle. It'll be like watching The Penguin. Like they'll understand the emotional chords you need to hit. They'll recapture the vibe of what you got to see in the Batman, but it'll just be a slightly different interpretation. I would think if he didn't write it without him as a director, you're going to get something radically different. You know, you would probably get Timu the Batman, but at least with him, you know, he has his hands intrinsically tied to the property, so I don't think it'll be too different from what we got.
Martin, what do you think?
I didn't like the depiction of the Riddler. I think I got what Reeves is going for. Although the younger Batman thing doesn't make a whole lot of sense since Pattinson was like 36 and Christian Bale was 31 when they made Batman Begins, and it's literally Batman's first outing. So, I mean, that seems like a bunch of, I don't know, spin or sales pitch. But yeah,
well, in Hollywood, it's all about the optics, right? I mean, like, even though Christian Bale was 31, Robert Pattinson looks like he's like 25.
I want to ask you a question, both Marvin and Kevin.
Sure.
I don't think that was the Riddler.
No?
No. I think it was Hush.
That would be interesting.
Yeah.
But I guess wouldn't he should have, I guess that's why he should have known Tommy. He should have known who Tommy Elliott was.
Yeah.
But I would be, I wasn't a fan of the Riddler, but I also didn't really like what Jeff Johns did with the Riddler in the Year One adaptation.
Year Zero?
In the Earth One, sorry, in the Earth One adaptation.
Oh, Earth One, okay.
But it was interesting, but I would love that, honestly, if it was Tommy Elliott and not really the Riddler.
They took an awful lot of Hush's story and attached it to him, and so I kind of think low key they were hinting that this isn't really the Riddler.
You know, I think that, I mean, the thing that I like about Hush, and this is why I'd be upset if it was Hush, the thing that really works for Hush as a character is how him and Bruce have that childhood connection. Like, I think that makes him one of Batman's most, personal villains.
Kind of his dark mirror.
Exactly. And so I would not like if they did Hush and it wasn't Tommy Elliott.
The only thing that I'm hesitant to see them do Hush, because you should only be doing Hush when you have an established, competent, hyper competent, and seasoned Batman. And this insistence on having to always go back to the beginning, it's just like, no, like the character's been around for almost 100 years at this point. We've seen it. We've seen it all. Just drop me into the middle of his story and let me see him beat up some ninjas, and then go do what you want to do with whatever story you want to tell.
You know what? I agree with you so much on that, because we either get him right at the very beginning, or we do what they did in the Snyderverse, where we get him like at the end. Like we get him like, basically Dark Knight Returns, which is the last Batman story, or supposed to be anyway. We've never really gotten him in the sweet spot, like the sweet spot of that like mid-30s. Like, I've been Batman for 5 or 6 years, and like I've got with an established Bat family. When?
Yeah, we did. We got the great Joel Schumacher movies.
Nolan, you're done with this conversation. Actually, Nolan, what do you think about Matt Reeves not directing the Batman Part 2? Were you a fan of the Batman Part 1?
All right, so I'm gonna say this in the context of I'm hoping everything is good for Matt Reeves as far as health, his family life, all that. I'm just gonna go in with the opinion of saying like he's okay. So in this scenario, which I'm proposing here, I'm ready for them to jet set this movie. I am a major Batman fan. I love him live action. I watch like documentary stuff on the making of these movies and everything about that. I have still not seen that film to this day. Not care. I literally have a friend of mine who literally walked out of the theater during the viewing. I've heard the most mixed reception of this film. And this film, I feel like you can give some credit to the Snyderverse for this too, but was one of the ones responsible for Batman films just not being an event film like they used to be. When The Dark Knight came out, it stopped the world because everyone was talking about that movie. And I'm sure some of the Marvel fatigue had something to do with it. But I just feel like we just need to dump this thing because if Batman's going to get to the heights he used to be, he can't achieve this under the Matt Reeves regime. And this is no offense to him, but the reality is this is already a part of a franchise that hasn't been able to click. And unless, correct me if I'm wrong here, panel, unless they can pull a Dark Knight and the second film is going to be a national phenomenon, I just don't see that happen. I think it's better to have a clean slate, especially with everything Robert Pattinson has been saying about him wanting to step away from acting. I think the writing's on the wall with the reboots and everything happening to just let it go.
Well, I think that it's going to be weird to have two different Batman continuities going at the same time in movies. Go ahead, Kev. What were you going to say?
I was saying, I'm actually shocked that I personally don't think this movie's going to happen because Pattinson has conflicts that were coming up. We touched on it a little bit a few months ago when we were talking about Brave and the Bold, and how the Batman and Brave and the Bold were more or less supposed to start shooting around the same time. So I mean, at this point, if Reeves isn't going to be there to fully execute his vision, and Robert Pattinson kind of doesn't really seem super into it, then really the energy and focus should be put into getting a brand new mainline Batman who can give you the event film that everybody's looking for. Because yes, The Dark Knight was a cultural phenomenon. This deserves to be. I don't care what those weirdos who just want to be contrarian like to say, but that movie was bleeping phenomenal. But people are ready for the next phase in Batman. They want to see the superhero Batman. So it's time to find a way to deliver that character. You almost got it. You saw it a little bit in Self-Deletion Squad. You saw it a little bit in that awful Flash movie. And you saw it a lot of it in the warehouse scene. But it's time to tie it all together, to put it into a coherent story, and knock everybody's socks off.
There's so much.
Hold on one second, guys. We gotta hit the brakes because Real Rate 89 for $50 says, okay, I gotta say this. Batman needs a top tier TV show with a solid actor like John Bernthal. No more movies. Give us a 5-season gritty TV show. I actually agree with this. I have always said Batman is a story that would be way better told in the TV format, especially now that like on streaming TV, you're throwing all this money at streaming TV. A Batman TV series, I think, would be amazing. Real Rain 89, thank you very much for that generous super chat. That was really, really awesome of you. And you know, we you know what, to say thank you, we're going to have a look at what your power level is saying.
Vegeta, what does the scouter say about his power level? It's over 9,000! What, 9,000? There's no way that can be right!
I love that clip so much. Real Rain, thank you very, very much for that. Martin Stone, what were you about to say? And do you also agree about the TV series thing?
I absolutely agree with the TV series. I think an episodic one, I don't even think it needs to be one overarching story, maybe some narrative threads, but if it was episodic and it's him each episode investigating, actually going after a criminal, because we never really see Batman the detective. I would like that. But what I was going to say is, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
What I was going to say is that Hollywood is obsessed with this. Batman beats up the mentally ill. He's a rich fascist. If the Batman movie counter programs that, and it is absolutely a Batman does these things because Gotham needs him to do these things. Gotham's corrupt. These people are insane. They will hurt people if he doesn't. That's Batman's universe. That's his reality. In a way, that's his hell. If the Batman movie does that, I think the fans would love it.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Now, the thing now, I keep going back to what Kev just said about how we're obsessed with the fact that we keep going back too far. I never need to see Batman deal with Carmine Falcone ever again, because obviously that's the year one story. So every time we go back too far, we got to deal with Maroni and Falcone and the mob. Like no more of that. Give me the Batman that is just right in that. Like, and the problem with going too far forward with Ben Affleck was all the good stories had been told already. Like death in the family happened already, and we didn't see it. So like we have to establish the Robins, establish the Bat family. I want to see that, and I think the only way to do that is episodic television.
It's fun. So I mean, she doesn't work there anymore, so I can dish this. So what the original plan was supposed to be, what they were all pushing for, was you were supposed to have inside of the greater scope of the DCEU, the movies were supposed to be tiered. There was supposed to be a Gotham verse, a Justice League verse, and then everything else would have fallen out from there. Inside of the Gotham verse, you were supposed to have Batman and Joker bouncing around different movies, and then you finally linked them up, and you were going to go backwards and explain everything up to where Batman was so broken that he was that murder death machine in BVS, and they just WB proper just was too impatient and overcorrected everything and anything that they could have done. And just didn't have the wherewithal to stick to the actual plan.
Well, and that's like with Batman movies, it's always like, well, which villain are we going to next? And you don't really have the time to like tell a multi-tiered story with the same villain consistently. I don't think we've ever gotten a Joker Batman story in more than one movie. We were supposed to, obviously, with Heath Ledger. I would love to see what the original script was for The Dark Knight Rises that had Heath Ledger in it. But that's, again, Lauren, what's your opinion on a Batman TV series?
Well, I kind of disagree. I want them to stay cinematic, but I want to give my pitch to you. I want to see what you think. You don't want to do the origin story, which I agree with. And I would disagree with doing The Dark Knight Returns, because I never liked The Dark Knight Returns.
Exactly.
So I think you're right on doing him when he's kind of in the middle. When he's older, he's not quite the angry young Batman anymore. He's more of the calmer detective. So I say do a cross between the original Arkham Asylum story from the game and the opening story arc of Shadow of the Bat. You have Batman turn himself into Arkham Asylum and basically investigate Jeremiah Arkham and the madness of Arkham. Now, I think that could be fun.
That does sound cool. I mean, I've always thought the perfect, and Lauren, you and I talked about this last week, the perfect Batman movie was staring us in the face with Arkham Origins, where it's the Joker unleashes, 6 assassins on the city one night to kill the Bat. And you've got Deathstroke, you've got Bane, you've got Lady Shiva, you've got Firefly, the Electrocutioner. Like, it was a perfect story. You've had the Penguin in there. The Joker was obviously the main threat. I mean, it's a amazing Batman story.
They did shortchange Black Mask, though.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they did shortchange.
I think, though, that a smaller personal Batman story, like it could be a one-night thing, but Batman just desperately trying to save one little girl. That's a good story.
Agreed.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that idea, too.
And that's the heart of why so many of these comic book movies aren't working anymore. These studios are convinced that it's bigger and better, And the reality is, it needs to go smaller. It needs to be more focused and character driven. Could you imagine how much fun Batman trying to rescue a little girl or just a random family would be? Like, you'd get the detective element, you'd get obviously the hyper proficient martial arts element, instead of the 9,000 moving parts and everything blowing up around you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's only so many times you can do the end of the world scenario. You have to save the day before your villain of the week just becomes Doofenshmirtz. Like, it's just before.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. But they're never going to do a Batman movie with small stakes like that. They're not going to spend $200 million on a small stakes Batman movie. It's just never going to happen. That's why I think TV is the medium for it. Because that's how you can tell those more nuanced stories like we talk about. And I agree. Batman has to stop muggers. Batman did not get into this to fight crocodile men and evil clowns. He got into this to stop Joe Chills. To punch Joe Chills in the face. Now, I see everyone's talking about Batman Beyond in there. I actually think Batman Beyond I think the next Batman video game should be Arkham Beyond. And it should be a Terry McGinnis Neo-Gotham open world story with old man Bruce, and you play as Terry McGinnis in Neo-Gotham. I think that would be fantastic, but they're never going to do it.
Neo-Gotham would be awesome.
Yes. Yeah.
I would love to know your stance on what do you think about those rumors or canceled work of the whole WB doing like an animated Batman Beyond film, kind of like in the same sense of Spider-Verse. What do you think of that?
They did that already. They did Return of the Joker, and it's the greatest Batman film ever made.
It's really good.
It's so good. It's like
it is the best one.
I did a photo op at the Boy Meets World cast, and I had 2 seconds to say something to one of them, and I just turned to Will Friedle and I just said, "Return of the Joker is the greatest Batman movie of all time." It's the first time. It really is, though. It's perfect. It gets the Batman, because it's written by Paul Dini, so it gets the Batman Joker dynamic perfectly. What was that, Kev?
When we're done with this, I have a question for Trish.
Oh,
okay.
What's the question for Trish?
Oh, I think it's off topic, so he doesn't want to derail it, but
yeah. It's off topic, but it is being discussed in the chat.
Oh, what is it?
Okay.
I was just wondering how Stu is in the new Scream movie.
I don't know. I don't want to spoil anything for Nolan, because Nolan does say he plans to watch them.
I plan to watch them too.
Thank you, Trish.
I plan to watch them too, but I'm waiting for around Halloween time to do it, because I want to do it as a special around Halloween.
I could watch that movie anytime. But I don't know. And so I'm like this because I'm waiting to see how it's done, but I believe the new Scream movie is written by Kevin Williamson. He's at least directing it, so that gives me a little bit more faith in it than somebody unattached to it originally, but I'm open. I'm cautiously optimistic about it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I like it.
All right. All right. So we have another DC related story here. I'm going to switch to that before we go to super chats, just because these stories are connected. So, might as well just do that. And that is Superman plot leak sparks fear that James Gunn is making fans the villains. So let's get this over with. For a film that's supposed to save DC's cinematic future, a new plot leak for James Gunn's Superman is already doing something dangerous, alienating the very people it needs to win back. A newly leaked plot detail from the upcoming 2025 reboot has ignited a firestorm online, and fans are asking one simple question: is James Gunn using Superman to go after us? Now, Superman plot leak says, there are potential spoilers here, so be warned, guys, but they're already plastered all over X, and Nerdrotic has confirmed the info is legitimate. So believe that if you want to believe that. According to the leak, Superman will feature a recurring gag, or what some call a theme, involving online backlash to the hero, a hashtag featuring an expletive. It is super SH hashtag. It is referenced multiple times in the film, and we're told that Clark is emotionally rattled by the negative social media discourse. But it doesn't stop there. In a bizarre twist, Lex Luthor is revealed to be operating in some sort of interdimensional world where mutant monkeys are seen at keyboards, typing furiously and generating digital hate aimed at Superman.
It was the best of times. It was the best of times.
Exactly, Mr. Burns. These monkeys are essentially Luthor's troll army, spreading misinformation and ridicule online to demoralize the hero. It sounds insane. If it sounds insane, it's because it is. But more troubling than this monkey business is what it represents. This might feel familiar. In Creature Commandos, Gunn inserted an out-of-nowhere incel army as a jab at fans. Choice that felt more like a Twitter feud than storytelling. It didn't fit the plot, and it didn't enhance the narrative, but it made a statement. Now with this plot leak, Superman, a much bigger and infinitely more important property, Gunn seems to be going back to the same well, using his script to settle scores. James Gunn doesn't like online discourse. If it's a one-off joke, because Lex Luthor having a pocket dimension where he sends his enemies is the most comic book Lex Luthor thing we've ever seen in live action.
I was going to say an army of mutant monkeys that do hashtag stuff is like pure Silver Age.
Yeah. Listen, I love the Silver Age. But even I would be hesitant to want to inject Silver Age lunacy into the modern audience sensibilities. I don't know. I really think for Superman, you should really be sticking to the basics. Just give us a nice Superman story instead of all the weird stuff. I don't know. Listen, you know my stance on this. Cornbread looks like a wuss. The costume is awful. I don't know. I'm not feeling anything that has anything to do with this movie. And every time there's a leak, it's like, oh gosh, I hope this isn't true. Right. And then you hear something that is probably true, and it's like, ugh. All right, like, well, I don't know. I find it hard to believe that a grown A man from the Midwest with sturdy values and confidence in himself will be rattled by the hashtag super shiz. It doesn't make much sense to me. It's goofy.
I thought you were about to say it. I was about to be like, no, but then you edited yourself. Thank you.
It's just goofy. This is weak Gen Z lunacy that real men just aren't going to be bothered with. So I already am like hyper irritated by this. But I guess. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, James Gunn is not above injecting his personal situations into his scripts. We saw it with Guardians 3, where basically the high evolutionary is Kevin Feige, and James Gunn is Rocket Raccoon, where he's like, I must get him back because he was the only one with imagination and vision. And I was like, wow, this is kind of thinly veiled there, James, isn't it? But this is the most important. I've said this before. It's the most important superhero movie of this generation, because this is the movie that decides if there's a DC universe and if there's superhero movies in general. I think going forward, I mean, Marvel's never going to stop, but it is DC's for the taking right now. Marvel has never been weaker. Marvel just put out a movie that people actually like, and no one's going to see it. So it's really, really interesting for me to see, like, just if there's a way to screw it up, Warner Brothers will find it. But I really just want this to be good. I really do. Now, look, I do like the concept of Lex Luthor in between grand plans spends his time trying to casually annoy Superman and just make sure every day of his life is filled with just something annoying. But because that's the Lex I want. An obsessive Lex that is like, I am the smartest guy in the world. This alien is dangerous and I don't want him here, and it's all because of that jealousy. That is the Lex Luthor Superman that we've never really gotten in. I don't think we've ever gotten that in live action at all.
No, we haven't gotten it. I think the closest we got to it was Kevin Spacey Lex.
Well,
and even then he was still being Gene Hackman.
Yeah.
The Lex from Lois and Clark could be pretty petty.
Yeah.
Lois and Clark.
You're right.
To it, yeah.
Yeah, that is the closest thing to I hate this guy because I'm jealous of him. Yeah, because it was Lex Luthor, the greatest criminal mind of our time, and then it was Kevin Spacey doing a redux of that. Smallville Lex was just kind of its own animal, and he wasn't smart. And then you had whatever the heck Jesse Eisenberg did. Like it was like Lex Luthor, the abused child with God issues.
Well, yeah, he was the weird little, not quite Silver Age. We don't know what origin we want to go with Lex, but we know each other from Smallville, and there's going to be an explosion. I'm going to lose my glorious red locks. Without the explosion.
I like the in Superman's Secret Origin, Jeff Johns' book, that Lex was originally from Smallville. They do meet as kids, but it's like a one-off meeting. And so like when Clark joins the Daily Planet, he's just like, oh yeah, I'm from Smallville. And she's like, oh yeah, Smallville, I know that. And he's like, wait, you do? And Lois is like, yeah, birthplace of Lex Luthor. Like it's so I like that idea of them both coming from this small little podunk Kansas town, and they just go in wildly opposite directions of each other. But I think Nicholas Hoult has it in him to be a very good Lex Luthor.
Nicholas Hoult is the only one I'm not worried about.
Yeah.
He looks like Lex Luthor. Everything else is just this. It looks like CW pretty people casting. Like it's like whenever they show the group shot of the Daily Planet, it looks like a Gen Z casting call. Like so, it feels more like they're trying to prep you for a reboot of Fame, as opposed to showing you, that we're seriously making a Superman movie. I just don't feel good about this movie at all.
Lauren, how do you feel about this movie?
You know, I was trying very hard to be open-minded about it because I would really like to have a good Superman movie. I like Superman. If it were me, I like focusing on some of the Silver Age stuff when you're talking about anything related to Krypton or Kryptonian lore, the Fortress of Solitude, Jor-El, you got the robots there. Give me that stuff. I love that stuff. But from what I heard, the cast came out and said that they already know that they're going to alienate half of the audience, and they've been prepared for that. And that told me everything I need to know about this movie. If that's the attitude that they're going to take, I'm not going to support them. You're here to entertain us. You're not here to divide us. You're not here to lecture us. You're not here to use our heroes as a club against us. So if that's the stance you're going to take, you're not getting my money.
Well, though Brosnahan did say that this is a movie that is truth, justice, and the American way. And if they
say that in the movie, if he actually says that line, truth, justice, and the American way, we'll see. But I don't buy it. I think they're wanting to get butts in seats. I think they have a more sinister agenda behind this thing, and I'm not impressed. You don't use Superman that way. He's the big blue Boy Scout. He's the hero for everybody.
Corn Sweat is the factor that I am concerned about. I think Nicholas Hoult will do very, very well. And I actually think Brosnahan is going to be an excellent Lois because I like her a lot.
Agreed.
She's got that Lois Lane chutzpah. And I use the Yiddish word because I like the Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, which she starred in. And she's incredibly hot. So I gotta say it. she is the hottest Lois Lane since Terry Hatcher, in my opinion. But not hotter than Terry Hatcher. Make no mistake about it. Terry Hatcher is the ultimate Lois Lane.
Kevin's face.
But you don't think Terry Hatcher is you don't think Terry Hatcher is the hottest Lois?
Hold on. In a world where Erica Durance exists, you're going to lavish me with that nonsense.
Terry Hatcher? No, Terry Hatcher over Erica Durance.
I got to admit, Terry Hatcher was a great Lois Lane, but I'm really surprised that you're going for this one because she does nothing for me. She doesn't look like Lois to me.
No. I think she looks like Lois, and I think she looks quite a bit like Lois, and I think that she. I like her in other things, so I like her as an actress. But Terry Hatcher is the hottest Lois Lane. That little bob that she had. Look, when she cuts her hair, no. But like that little bob that she had in season 1, like, come on, man. That's Lois Lane.
As a hetero female, I just looked up Erica Durance and how do you say her name? Rachel
Brosnahan?
It auto-filled for me. I think Erica Durance is hotter with Kevin.
Well,
Not that there's anything wrong with,
beauty is
she's unattractive, but
beauty is subjective, I think.
I'm just saying. I was not expecting. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, she is hot.
See, now, I haven't seen the new gal in anything, so I don't know what her acting ability is like. I have no way to judge what kind of a Lois that she'll play, but just seeing her in the trailer, she didn't do anything for me as Lois. She just, honestly, I know Lois has kind of got an attitude, but she had enough attitude in it that it's like she's a little off-putting.
Can we at least agree that go ahead, Nolan.
You don't get the vibe of like the animated series or any of the works that came after that? Because to me, I think she's the most accurate looking to the cartoon I've ever seen in my life.
Well, she does kind of look like animated series Lois a bit, I would say. Yeah, I think you're right there, Nolan. Can we agree though that Kate Bosworth is just the biggest nothing burger Lois that we ever got? Like, that's the script's fault. That's not her fault. I mean, she looked like she was 12, and yeah, that script did her no favors.
Where's she been? What happened to her?
Idea.
I feel like you heard about her a lot.
Superman Returns happened to her.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't think she ever really recovered. I never saw her in anything big after that.
I just watched her in a movie with Dolph Lundgren on Amazon.
Really?
Which one?
I can't remember the name of it, but she was in it. It had like 5 people like, oh, I haven't seen you guys in movies in forever, and I'm like, oh, okay. So I'll rip through my watch again and text it to you.
Thanks.
By the way, in terms of Lex Luthor's, I do love John Cryer's take on Lex Luthor, but it can't be in the upper echelon for me because we never see him really interact with Superman outside of a few scenes. He was a Supergirl villain, and they eventually degenerated him into just standard right-wing misogynist evil man, which was terrible. But when he first showed up, he was amazing. But I also really like the Lex from Superman and Lois. I thought he was great. He was a different kind of Lex. He was that bruiser Lex Luthor. But I mean, Superman and Lois is just so good.
Clancy Brown.
I was gonna say the Kurgan-esque Lex.
Yeah. Clancy Brown was an amazing Lex in the animated series.
Trying to poke that Highlander bear again.
Aren't you gonna wash your hands? No, because I'm evil.
So when we were in the knife store by Dollywood, I saw the Highlander katana there, and I said, "Lauren, look, it's the Highlander katana." And I got, a very dismissive, flippant, angry Lauren response. And then I bought it.
I want to publicly put this out here. I like Lauren a lot, but I am adamantly opposed to anybody forcing this man to watch Highlander 2.
I agree.
That is not something you could force upon someone. You must endure that punishment willingly. I think it's the only way to actually survive it.
Okay. Lord said computer just crashed.
The timing of that was phenomenal.
It was seriously phenomenal timing. That's amazing.
The universe had to intervene.
And that's something he would do, like jet out, just jet
it's
back
something
in.
he's done.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's so amazing. But yes, no, I bought it as a set. There were 3 of them, like 3 different sizes of the dragon's head katana. I haven't brought them inside yet. They're still in the car.
Does Mrs. Movie Monster not know about them yet?
No. No, she does not know about them yet.
What do you mean? This has always been on my wall.
Yeah, seriously. All right, let's get to some super chats, and then we're going to start talking a bit about the Blake Lively.
Hold on, wait a second. Is that why we have to hit $500 so that you can all set the purchase?
The katanas were not. They were not $500. I will say that. They was like 100. It's like 100 something bucks. Oh my god, Lauren, that was the most perfect timing ever.
I crossed hard. Sorry about that. What did I miss?
I literally was just talking about how I bought the Highlander swords while we were together, and then you just left.
He was literally like, and Lauren dismissed me, and then I bought it, and you were gone. It was very funny.
Total accident. I literally just got white noise in my headphones, and it just dumped on me. So sorry about that.
I tried to convince Lauren to take a picture with the Highlander sword, and he wouldn't do it.
I did provide a provision in which you could take a picture of me with it, but you opted not to.
Well, yeah, because we would have had to remove your head. I didn't think that would. There was also an actual like metal Stormbreaker there that was like 30 pounds.
Holy cow!
Nice.
Vash and I both held it, and like we were just like, "Oh my gosh!" And I was like, "Please don't drop it because this looks expensive." But
actually,
yeah,
how much would that thing be?
You know what we had? The guy didn't know, and I didn't want to make him go look because there was no way I was going to buy it.
Like it's not written anywhere, and it's like kind of like, oh, ask for price, forget it, you don't want to pay it.
No, not at all.
I have the same policy about market price fish because I'm almost never shopping at the same market these people are.
All right, let's get to some super chats here.
Sorry, Trish.
It's all right. It's just it's really funny.
Tune in to the next Lost Guys where we talk about obscure fish.
Okay. John Williams for $5, bringing our total for tonight up to 188. Says it was good because the actor for the 2000s Fantastic Four films was a fan and insisted on a suit rather than CGI. Oh, Michael Chiklis. Look, CGI in the 2000s would not have been good. It would have looked like the Ang Lee Hulk, and that looked terrible. So we have seen Michael Chiklis was the perfect thing. I thought he captured Ben perfectly. Lauren and I were saying, Kev, before you got here, the voice of Ben in this MCU movie is just off. It's just terrible. It doesn't sound like Ben Grimm. And the fact that Michael Chiklis had the New York accent, but he also had that graveliness to it after he transformed, it's everything that you expect him to sound like.
Why do we never hear people making jokes about you wouldn't like me when I'm Ang Lee?
Oh my gosh. I think you're the first person to ever think of that. Oh my goodness. That's good. That's good. Yeah, seriously.
Put that on a shirt.
It's why I call him the Assassins, because his jokes just come out of nowhere and they always kill. Real Rain 89, remember for 5 months is Trish Genders Assemble. Please don't make that a thing. Oh my goodness. Liquid Fox for $2 Canadian says Marv can take a pony, but can he take a brony? Ew, we're never gonna find out. We're never gonna find out. I'm not gonna touch a brony to fight them. So
Marv, silver linings. The question was, can you take a brony? Not could a brony take you?
That's interesting. John Williams for $5 says WBD. Why do we keep losing money? Hey, Shahid Khan's son, give me more of that magic snow. Yeah, seriously. This is the company that continues to give money to AEW. So Maddie for $2, bringing us up to 197 for the evening, says I accidentally oh no.
What?
Guys, don't Google that. Don't Google that,
don't
please.
That.
Yeah.
No. This is why we need the clip from the Matrix. Not like this. Not like this.
Oh my goodness. So Master of Puppets is 100 sumo wrestlers versus 50 baboons. The sumo wrestlers win, I think, in that situation. They just fall on them.
Baboons are pretty small.
Yeah, but I'm like they're scrappy, but like I still think the sumo wrestlers beat them.
Oh yeah,
especially with 2-on-1 odds like that. I would now 100 baboons versus 50 sumo wrestlers. I think that would be a bit of more of a fair fight. But 100 MMA pros versus 25 orangutans. Again, I give it to the MMA pros, especially because they Orangutans aren't like as particularly strong, are they?
Yeah.
No, they are, and you never know where they're coming from. They got that amazing reach, a lot of dexterity. They can get up above you.
Yeah, I actually think there's a possibility the orangutans win in this case. I wouldn't want to take on
an orangutan.
Yeah, they're mean.
And why are we picking on Dr. Zaius?
Dr. Zaius.
Has there ever been like a better like animated segment of a TV show than Planet of the Apes the musical?
No.
I love you, Dr. Zaius. Oh,
I heard he wanted to make a live action.
Wrong.
Oh,
it was
I would go see it. Conan, come back and finish your dream.
Yeah, seriously. Did Conan write those songs, the Planet of the Apes musical?
I don't know.
He wrote the monorail. I know he wrote the monorail song. But
and he wrote my favorite story that I always reference of Homer getting thrown out of the all-you-can-eat.
The best one.
I reference that all the time, and then I was watching something with Conan O'Brien. He's like, he wrote like 3 episodes. I'm like, that's it. And I looked it up, and that was one of them. I'm like, no wonder why I think that's so funny.
It was that my favorite line in that, and it's such an underrated line in that, is when Marge is allergic to fish, and she's like, "Is there much fish? Is there a lot of fish in the bread?" Yes. I think I'll just have. I think I have some Tic Tacs in my purse. Excellent choice, ma'am. Like I love that. 6 bells. Time for leaving.
When we were at FanFest earlier last week or whatever, we were at the Moe's area and the Krusty Burger, and they had that scene playing on the TV. It was great.
Oh,
really?
I love when Lionel Hutz is interviewing Marge on the stands. Like, and then what did you? We drove around all night trying to find another all-you-can-eat fish restaurant, and when you didn't find one, we went fishing. Does this sound like a man who had all he could eat? Oh, come see Bottomless Pete, nature's cruelest mistake. I love it. He says 100 unarmed Marines versus 50 gorillas. As much as I love and respect the Marines, 50 gorillas is a tall order because that's 2 Marines per gorilla, and you don't have weapons. And a gorilla can lift 4,000 pounds. So 50 gorillas are taking out 100 unarmed Marines, I think.
Yeah.
Semper Fi, though. I love the Marines. Yeah, Master Puppet says, my money is on the apes and the monkeys in all cases. I disagree on the sumos and the baboons. I think the sumos win that. Denisha Lane, member for 8 months, says, hey, Marvin, I enjoyed 8 months milestone. Much love to you, Denisha Lane. Thank you for being a member for 8 months. We appreciate you and love you here on this show. John Williams, for $5, says, Reeves also didn't do the last Planet of the Apes film. He was just the producer. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't see the last Planet of the Apes film, but I stopped. Honestly, after the second one, the new ones, I stopped. That Black Bear for $2 says, hey, Kevin Apollo spits blood. I ain't hearing no blood. I think he means Bell, but I assume that's why you were late. John Williams for $10 says Hush is overrated. Everything about him was taken from someone else. His design is Two-Face from Dark Knight, from DKR, and story is Black Mask. Dini added same face to try and make him stand out. I didn't know Dini was involved with Hush. Lauren,
I didn't know either.
As the Hush fan here, what do you have to say about that?
Muted, Lauren.
You are muted.
I'd have to go back and look. I don't actually remember. I've got my copy out there, but I agree that Hush is an amalgamation, but that's sort of the point of his character. That's exactly what he's doing. He is mimicking and manipulating and screwing with Bruce. I do think the Hush story is a little overrated. It made a tremendous splash when it came out. I know everybody loved the fact that you had all of the Rogues Gallery there. I love Jim Lee artwork. That was the big draw for me. And the reveal, when they brought back or seemed to bring back Jason to screw that reveal of that outfit was incredible. But I do think that the story is a little bit overrated. My favorite Batman stories are obviously Year One, The Long Halloween, and The Court of Owls. For me, those are the essential reads.
I would like to say what he's referring to is Paul Dini did do a book about Hush in 2009. It was called The Heart of Hush.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Had I known there was a Paul Dini Hush book, I would have read that. What are you saying, Lauren?
I'll be right back.
Oh, sure thing.
He's got it.
Oh, I guess so. Walter Tomaszewski for $1.99 says, anyone here think Pattinson's Batman is autistic? I never got that from his Batman portrayal.
He does draw a lot, yeah.
He does, yeah. I don't know. I didn't get a lot of like nuance from the performance itself. He was just kind of like quiet and weird the whole time, and he was angry. He's angry Batman, which
wasn't he written with Kurt Cobain in mind? Am I making that up?
No, he was.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Just remember hearing that.
Okay, I just cycled through 5 jokes. All of them were inappropriate.
All right, so if you'll give me a minute. There's Hush.
Okay.
I got the big
hardcover.
The Absolute
Fantastic.
Edition, yeah. Beautiful artwork on that. But there's Heart of Hush.
Oh, okay.
So
I may have to look into that.
it is Paul Dini. Little different art style, but good stuff.
I like it. John Williams for $4.99 says also Hush wasn't Mindmaster. He was just a pawn for the Riddler in his own comic. I got to reread Hush. I don't remember any of that.
Yes and no. Yes and no. I mean, it was the Riddler. He used the Riddler to tie it all together, but it was his plan.
Yeah,
and it was his revenge scheme, and he. I think what makes it work is I think he had a better Hush had a better understanding of the Riddler than Batman had an understanding of the Riddler.
Mm-hmm.
So he was able to manipulate it to
sociopath.
Yeah. He was able to manipulate the Riddler to get everything he needed to get out of him, and I just love the ending of it where when they're sitting in the asylum, Batman's like, "Well, you can go ahead and tell everybody my identity, but I'm going to tell everybody that you knew first, and they're going to be more mad at you than they're going to be mad at me. So what are we going to
do?" John Williams also says, my pitch for a movie is a mix of Red Hood and Tim Drake becoming Robin. It'd be like GF2, where it's half present and flashback to when Batman was training Jason in his early years. I've always said that I think the way that you do this Brave and the Bold movie that they're going to do is it's post Death in the Family. Jason is dead, and at the end, when Damian leaves the League of Assassins to join up with Batman, the post-credit scene is Ra's being like, "You took my boy, I'm going to take yours," and it's them throwing Jason's body in the Lazarus pit. I think that's
a good one.
Yeah, I think that's the way you do it, and then you have Red Hood as the next movie, because you could also very easily inject the Joker into that. It's they'll be years without a Joker movie by that point, so they'll be chomping at the bit for it. Remember when that used to be an exciting thing that the Joker's in a movie?
Well, and the Batman trying to save the Joker is an interesting twist.
Yeah,
or at least it was the first 3 times we saw it.
Yeah. Well, that's my favorite part of Arkham Origins. I was telling this to Lauren the other day. It's just that moment where he saves him for the first time when they fall off the building and he like catches him, and the Joker goes, "Now, why would you do that?" Like he's just so perplexed and befuddled by it. I love that.
Yeah, but he also seems so delighted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Andre Adams for $1.99. WBD says, we want our Superman to have a punchable face. Very true. That Black Bear for $5 says, Lex needs to have a room covered in pictures with Superman that he throws darts at. Yes, I agree. We need the Lex Superman hate has got to be legendary. Dead X-Man 616 for $5 is the best. Lex was the animated series. He got Superman so worked by doing nothing that he caused Clark to destroy low-income housing. I forgot about that.
Our new HUD commissioner, Superman.
Oh my goodness, that's fantastic. All right. Okay, we're going to stop right there for now. We'll get back to Super Chats in a bit, but we have to talk about this court case going on because it's starting to bleed into the A-list, guys, because Taylor Swift has officially been subpoenaed in the Blake Lively lawsuit. Travis Kelce and Hugh Jackman could be next in the legal battle between Blake Lively and It Ends With Us director Justin Baldoni. It has officially spilled over into A-list territory. Pop superstar Taylor Swift has reportedly been subpoenaed in connection with the lawsuit, despite not being directly involved in the production at the heart of the dispute. Sources indicate that Swift, a close friend of Lively's, will be required to give a deposition, and the next names on the legal radar, Travis Kelce and Hugh Jackman. According to the Daily Mail sources, attorneys involved in the case are scheduling depositions, with Swift now legally obligated to testify. The move shows just how far-reaching the effects of this increasingly public legal showdown has become, especially when it starts pulling in celebrities whose only connection is through friendship or proximity. The dispute stems from a lawsuit filed by Lively last year under the corporate alias Van Zandt Incorporated, accusing Baldoni of harassment during production and retaliatory. We know all this part. But now the fallout is spreading. Travis Kelce, Swift's high-profile NFL star boyfriend, has already raised eyebrows after quietly unfollowing Ryan Reynolds on social media. A move that fans were... I know, right? A move fans were quick to interpret as a sign of deeper tension behind the scenes. Now, while Kelce has not been formally subpoenaed, speculation is growing that his name may soon be added to that list, and his association with Swift and proximity to Reynolds have placed him firmly in the legal spotlight. Finally, Hugh Jackman, a longtime friend of Reynolds and co-star of Deadpool and Wolverine, is also rumored to be under consideration for a subpoena. With both Kelce and Jackman circling the perimeter of this dispute, it's clear that the case is no longer just about two film collaborators. It has become a Hollywood spectacle. Guys, nobody is coming out of this lawsuit looking good with their career intact. Not Blake Lively.
I think
Definitely
Taylor
not Blake
Swift
Lively.
will shake it off.
Oh, well, no. Thank you, Nolan.
Nolan.
No, I don't mean, look, Taylor Swift is going to be fine. There's no force in the universe powerful enough to take her down. But
except for
Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni, nobody is hiring them after this.
I mean, no one was hiring her to begin with.
Yeah.
That's why we're in this situation. I honestly think the best thing that she can do is, considering that she found a way to kiss herself in another simple favor, is that she should sue herself for inappropriate behavior.
I love that the predicate of your article is that neither Justin Baldoni nor Blake Lively are A-list, and now the A-list is becoming involved in this.
They've involved Taylor Swift, a Super Bowl level football player, Hugh Jackman, and Disney. They're bringing Disney into all of this as well with the Nice Pool stuff. I mean, this is really snowballed.
There's more that you haven't even put.
Yeah.
Cut out of fast.
Kevin, did you get the thing I sent you today?
Oh, no, not today.
Oh, about her lip sore?
Tell us, Trish, what about her lip sore?
So supposedly, and there's photos that look like, remember what I saw, it looked like it could have been her in her, costume for acting. She had a lip sore, and they're saying that Justin Baldoni kept trying to put off kissing her in any kind of kissing scenes because she was contagious, obviously.
Yeah, you think?
And that eventually he couldn't dodge it anymore, and he had to. But it puts a whole new spin on her and the kissing and because
is she trying to say like how dare you not want to kiss me because of my contagious lip sore?
I mean, I don't know if she was looking at it as, it's not a big deal, let's just do our job, and he was like, except I don't want that, so no. I don't know. It's a thing that I just heard today. I mean, I think it's been out a few days, but I just heard it today, and I was like, I sent it to Kevin. Kevin's the first person I send any of this stuff. And there's a whole thing where that Van Zandt that you mentioned,
Trish just
that
froze.
is a bad face.
That is a bad place to freeze. Oh my goodness.
That is like, you take that and then you put we'll be right back.
Wow. Am I back?
Oh yeah, you froze it like the worst. You froze it like the worst ever.
Like black screen with like the little circle.
Yeah.
Allegedly filed a lawsuit and named Jane Doe's and John Doe's, and one of the publicists like handed over her stuff, and then it was like right afterwards they dropped the lawsuit, and they're alleging that it was used as like a way to circumvent the discovery system for this case. Like it was a completely separate case. Yeah, to essentially get evidence and to get information that they didn't have. So abusing the system.
That's what the CIA would do.
Yeah, it's a whole
why don't
weird
you
thing.
send these things to your friend who is the editor-in-chief of a celebrity news site?
Honestly, I don't. I just think of Kevin, because Kevin and I spend forever talking about it.
I know, but I'm saying start sending these things to me because I have to cover this.
Like literally, I see Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, or Justin Baldoni. I'm like, Kevin. I send it. I don't even watch it. I go, Kevin, I haven't watched this yet, but here. So.
It is this court. It is just like at this point, all parties involved should just be like, you know what, we're dropping both lawsuits and we're moving on with our lives.
Justin Baldoni should absolutely not drop this lawsuit.
Justin Baldoni needs to grind this axe until it is a tiny toothpick.
Well, I don't think he has a career after this. Not that he had a huge.
He's not going to need one if he wins even a fraction of the money he's asking for.
That's true. He's got right off into the sunset money. But his entire his entire persona as champion of women, Justin Baldoni, is going to be completely shattered by all of this.
I don't think people believe her.
No one believes her.
No one believes her. And
no one's
keeps
believing
putting
her.
things out that make her look worse. That there's proof behind. Now I don't know whether or not Hollywood would want to work with him because they might see him as trouble or something. But I think public perception on him is fine.
Yeah, he's doing okay. Especially I keep reminding everybody. She sent some text messages that were an open invite, and he straight up ignored her. And then all of a sudden, there were problems.
Yeah, I just remembered that California decriminalized spreading disease through intimate contact.
Really?
Yeah.
Is this a new thing?
No.
Did they really?
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
Ooh. That seems
gross.
Just.
Get cooties.
Spicy.
By the way, I got to jump ahead in the super chats here because Floral from under a rock for two filthy Canadian dollars says, "So Kevin's a girl drama kind of guy, huh?"
110%.
Yeah, Kevin and I first bonded over All My Children. Forget it. He and I this with that stuff.
What exactly happened last night with you guys in Wilton? Because I keep hearing about all this this wild stream from last night, and it all is centered around Wilton, and I'm I can only imagine what this was.
I don't even know how to describe it, but it was. I don't think I said anything for the final hour. It was just Wilton being Wilton. And it was just.
Yeah, say no more. I get it. I played Fortnite with him. I know. By the way, I am playing Fortnite.
We need to put them in a truly uncensored environment.
Which is hysterical. It just, I can't even. Yeah, jeez. Yeah, I will have to go back and watch it. But anyway, talking about the Baldoni thing. Yeah, so Trish, you think he's actually got a prayer of winning against them?
At least some of it. I mean, I don't know what the different various things are. I mean, he wrote in the New York Times. And he has receipts. The best I can tell, he has stuff to back it up. He's not just saying it. So,
what's fascinating to me is that now I lost it. I don't remember what was fascinating to me. They started the sentence, and I'm still thinking about whatever happened on that stream last night that I didn't know about.
What's fascinating about this is when this does go to trial, where it's going to really damage Ryan Reynolds, is that you are starting to see cracks.
Do you think anything could damage Ryan Reynolds in Hollywood, though? I mean, he is such the it guy.
Absolutely, because you're starting to see cracks where people are starting to openly discuss how he's not that nice. Especially. How he abandoned Jake Gyllenhaal. And apparently this move that she pulled to seize control of this movie is something that he does on a regular basis with smaller projects. So
that's interesting.
So they both have a lot of very, very dirty laundry that they don't want out. And you got to remember,
one piece that's out.
That's true. You got to remember, yes, that Deadpool, Deadpool got him the most attention. but it was his chick flicks that brought him to the dance. He has a very large built-in audience that will be very upset with him.
That are the ones paying attention to this.
Yeah, and they're the ones who are paying attention to it. And me.
Yes, and you.
So do you think Justin Baldoni ends up getting listed as a dependent on his tax return?
That's funny. It's funny. So I remember what I found stunning is that the fact that when this goes to trial, reportedly it's going to be at the same time as the Gina Carano v. Disney trial. So we are going to have two like big trials going on at the same time for coverage. This is going to be content creator Christmas. But
are we going to get any of them televised or no?
I hope so. Oh my gosh. If we got like OJ style, like cameras in the courtroom, I would.
Yes. I want Johnny Depp and Amber Heard type coverage for Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want.
I'm sure. I don't know. Johnny Depp was more A-list than that. So
cameras would be fun, but awful court recorder pictures with content creators reading the parts would be hilarious.
Oh my gosh! If we could get the like, because I would want to do all like do Brian Friedman's voice as like a Inherit the Wind like Southern prosecutor, like Your Honor, if it pleases the jury, when the character of Naspool came onto the screen, there could be no doubt that it was Mr. Baldoni that we were all witnessing up there. I mean, look at that man.
Tooney Town TV presents a dramatic reading of the Justin Baldoni Blake Lively.
Oh my goodness! My gosh! Yes, Flora Wilton is Ryan Reynolds. Yeah, Melinda can be Blake. That would actually make sense if Melinda was Blake Lively. Melinda is his female cow puppet. So
Moo, I get it.
Yeah. Did you see this? It's a really weird clip from it. I don't think it was it was Another Simple Favor where Blake Lively like makes out with herself.
Yeah, Kevin referenced it before. What? I didn't see it though. I didn't know about this.
Like Captain Kirk and Star Trek 5.
Does he do that?
Or 6, Star Trek 6. Yeah. Yeah, the changeling takes on his appearance. No, he doesn't actually do it. He kisses her in a different form, but at some point he goes, "I can't believe I kissed you," and he responds back to himself, "It must have been your lifelong dream."
Oh, that's amazing. Okay, hold on. I think I have the clip here, which we'll see how much of it we can play.
Howard the Duck taught us anything.
It's like a 30-second clip, so.
You and I, we do. This isn't a plan against you and Margaret, Linda, my father, Faith, all of us. That's why
I will say, I don't think I've ever seen her look so lovingly into another person's eyes as when she's looking into her own.
Why is she dressed like a stewardess?
I don't know.
that's where you belong together. That's where we deserve each other.
Belong together. Whoa.
Ugh.
I missed you.
Ew.
What?
Oh my God.
I wish I knew the plot of these movies.
I am so
Get that
confused.
going, girl. Weird.
Oh, Charity, you killed so many people.
What?
That's why I said she just turned around and sue herself for inappropriate behavior on set.
Oh my
Make
God.
everybody forget it all.
Yeah.
That sounds bug nuts.
I can't imagine like being curious enough to actually watch that movie. But I might have to actually watch that movie.
I guess the first one was good enough that they made a second one. Enough people must have liked it, I guess.
I mean, the trailer got ratioed into oblivion.
Or they really enjoyed Anna Kendrick having to interact with her.
Yeah, that's true.
Pretend that she likes her.
No, there was no pretending of liking at all.
Yeah. I mean, it was the veil was so thin, it was basically not there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
All right, so the official teaser trailer is at a 10,000 likes to 16,000 dislikes.
I'm seeing the first one they made a second one. This is the second one. So the first one must have done well enough and been liked enough that they felt like it was worth it to make a second one.
The actual trailer has 13,000 likes to 5.6 thousand dislikes. Still a lot of dislikes, but it's not ratioed. However, I will point out Amazon did once again turn off comments.
Who just got a visit from the Renegade?
The motor?
Yeah.
Wasn't me.
It wasn't me.
I don't think it was me. I don't see Lorenzo around here.
Oh my goodness.
Lauren is suspiciously quiet.
Yeah, seriously.
No, I'm searching for something in the background, actually, for Nolan, so I haven't really been paying a great deal of attention.
That's all right. It's just Blake Lively making out with herself.
Yeah.
It's like nothing I need to see. So,
Guys, it's 2025. There are better ways to find girls kissing on the internet. Come on now,
for real. So Dead X Man for $5 says, "Is it a bad sign that Marv is buying sharp objects after we caused him to watch the Scrums and Snow White?" Take that how you will. Dead X Man. That black bear for $2. Ang Lee was a super popular joke. All right, we just apparently.
Hold on. I want to know, Black Bear, did you intentionally drop the article on that to make it more Chinese?
Oh, that's funny. Oh, that's funny and offensive. I love it.
It's not me.
Yeah, I know. I get it. I get
The
it.
words of Shaggy. It wasn't me.
Real Rain 89 says, one Dagestan wrestler versus 100 gorillas. I'm calling PETA to protect the gorillas. What is Dagestan?
Yeah, I don't know.
It sounds like a fake country from an 80s movie.
Oh, is that weird? Hold on. I think I know what it is. It's like a weird fighting style. And if we can if it's what I think it is, it's actually worthwhile pulling up the clips. Because hold on. I don't have my glasses, but it's Stan. Ends in Stan, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Dagestan wrestling. Let me see. I'm just seeing a lot of shorts on this, but
it's like a bunch of they have like massive people, but like they do this weird sport where like they like run and you have to see it. I just can't remember the name of it. Like they like run and attack each other, and then like I can't even begin to fathom the actual rules of the game. But yes,
so it's like multiple people.
Yeah.
Hold on.
But yes, the Dagestan wrestlers are just giant. They're like if you shot the Hulk with a shrink ray. But like the Hulk.
Okay, I mean these guys look like normal dudes, but no, actually they do look pretty big.
Keep going. You'll see.
Okay.
There's something in the water there.
Okay. All right, they're getting ready to do so. All right, there.
I would type in Dagestan wrestlers, and that should be like one of the first things that pops up, and you'll just see.
Yeah, right now this is looking pretty standard. Let's see.
You should see someone wearing. You should see someone. There you go. I'll send it to you. Because hold on.
You just put it in the private chat.
Yeah, hold on. Just share. Boop boop boop.
This better be worth it.
Well, I didn't fight the game, but I'm sending you actual Dagestan wrestlers so that you understand why he's saying what he's saying.
Are you putting it in the private chat?
I'm putting it into the private chat for you now.
Okay. All right, we're spending a lot of time on this $5 super chat. I'm gonna move on. We'll come back. We'll circle around. All bee booty bees and bacon with big bees for $2. Says, can you tell TK to stop stalking me? Oh gosh, look at Tooney Khan in the background.
Oh, Michael Myers, I can't.
Oh, it's so funny. Andre Adams for $1.99 says also a longtime Jim Lee fan. I like Jim Lee.
I don't like Jim Lee
well, not anymore, but like what he used to be.
I don't like it anymore.
John Williams for $4.99 says the twist was Batman realized Riddler was manipulating Hush. Thomas thought he was in control. Batman got Eddie to keep quiet Raish for using the pit. Okay.
Keep quiet to Raish about you.
Okay. Using the pit. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Dead X-Man 616 for $2 says, what new Trek is missing? Hot Kirk on Kirk action.
Don't speak that into existence.
Yeah.
They'll do it.
Yeah, no, don't let Kirkman hear you.
Don't
John Williams
for me, Ricky Bobby.
John Williams for $1.99 says Triple H did the same thing last headlines. Yes, he did. Oh my gosh, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 50. All right, so that's another.
Oh, bloody hell.
Cool. I'm going to keep you track of the super chats as we go along to, get toward our goal here. All right. So, Thunderbolts is not doing super well in theaters right now, guys. It is, despite the fact that it's gotten great reviews, from both the audiences and critics, it has fallen below initial opening weekend box office projections and has become Marvel's lowest summer kickoff ever. Official box office numbers are in, and Thunderbolts has come in lower than initially projected, opening with $74.3 million domestically, below the $76 million projected early Monday morning. Now, despite being billed as the kickoff to the 2025 summer movie season, the Marvel Studios release is now underperforming even by the franchise's post-Endgame standards. The final total still places Thunderbolts just above the Eternals, which made $71.3 million in its opening weekend, but now officially behind Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, which made $75.4, and Black Widow, which made $80. Making it one. Black Widow made $80, by the way, while it was in the middle of lockdowns, while it was on Disney Plus. I'd like to point that out. Making it one of the weakest non-sequel MCU launches in years. But it has an A- cinema score. People do love it. Worse still, it's now confirmed as the lowest grossing summer kickoff for the MCU since the franchise's inception, at a time in which movie tickets have never been priced higher. It fell short of the original Iron Man's 2008 debut of $98.6 million, a film that had no established universe or interconnected characters to lean on. So the way it broke down, 11.5 million from Thursday previews, 20.3 million on Friday, 31.8 from Friday total, including previews, and then 24.7 million on Saturday and 17.8 million on Sunday. So that it went up 21.7% from Friday and down 27.9% from Saturday to Sunday. So it's going to be really interesting to see this weekend what the drop-off is. I'm actually anticipating not a terrible drop-off because there is decent word of mouth on this. Now, I know I've seen it. Nolan's seen it. Lauren's seen it. Martin, have you seen it?
No, not yet. My
Kevin, I
oldest
know
wants
you
to go
haven't seen
see
it
though.
Yeah.
No, I haven't.
And Trish, you're going this weekend, so you're going to help that drop off. But Lauren, are you surprised that we're seeing the numbers that we're seeing for this film after seeing it?
Well, I guess it depends on how you look at it. It's a really difficult movie to talk about because 2/3 of it is not great. It's what they've been giving us for the longest time now. But 1/3 of it, I feel, is actually really excellent. And so I think that the word of mouth has been generally positive, but I'm also not surprised people aren't going out to the theaters to see it in great droves. It's okay. I hope maybe they figure out whoever had something to do with the climax of the movie and says, all right, give us more of that. Maybe that's a sign that they're trying to do better. But I think they got a long way to go before they start re-earning trust from the audience.
The first 1/3 of that movie, I think we had said this on Pro's review stream as well, or after we saw it, it's not good. I really was hating it for the first 1/3. I almost walked out when somebody said that John Walker killed an innocent man on camera, and that was why he's so hated. And I was like, innocent man?
What? Wait, did he kill
He's manifestly not innocent.
Yeah, he killed a T-wrist. Who just blew up a hospital and killed an American soldier.
His best friend?
Yeah. And the
guy was hopped up on like a version of the super soldier serum. Yeah. So he's not unarmed. He is a weapon now.
He said he killed an innocent man on TV. And it's more of Marvel wanting us to think of the T-wrists led by that weird ginger girl from that movie and from Solo as well as the good guys of that entire thing, which I refuse to follow you on. Yeah,
You'll
you'll never know what they
he
sacrificed for you. That's the weird thing about Marvel with the MCU. It gives us these terrible female characters who are objectively horrific people, and they try to make them the good guys in the end. Like they did it with that girl, they did it with Wanda in WandaVision, and they did it with Black Widow's mom in Black Widow.
Well, I think in defense of Wanda, we also have like a history with her. We know she can be good. There's an emotional tug there. Like I understand applying nuance to that one, but you know,
I don't know.
I can
see replace her with Agatha.
Sorry, Nolan, I stepped on you there.
Oh, sorry. I just say replace her with Agatha. She was nails on a chalkboard. But go ahead, Martin.
Yeah, go ahead, Martin.
I can understand the impulse to sympathize with her, but what a great TV show would have done was set it up so you do sympathize with her, and then come to understand what a monster she actually is.
Yeah. The ordering of it, so to speak. But I'm saying I understand like the urge there to do it and why they were inclined to do it. But I mean, some of this other stuff is like, why?
For the first third of the movie, every time John Walker opens his mouth, a female is there to tell him what a piece of crap he is.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, I couldn't stand it. I wanted to leave. But then, like Vash had put it this way, the movie starts once they're in the limo. And after that, I actually found it to be a very enjoyable movie. I have always said that the Sentry is a cool concept. I always liked the idea of the Sentry. I just think that Brian Michael Bendis did not have the ability to write that character. And that's why the Sentry bombed the way he did in the comics. I thought they handled the Sentry very, very well in this. I want to see more of him. I left this, and at the end when they call them the new Avengers, I think everybody was like, oh, I don't want to see them be the Avengers. And I said, I would rather see them be the Avengers than see Sam Wilson and Brie Larson and Monica Rambeau and all of them as the Avengers. Like,
I'm a little confused though, because what about the end of Shang-Chi? That team wasn't the Avengers?
I guess not officially. Like they're trying to say now that the Avengers have been disassembled since Endgame.
That don't make no sense.
I don't. Yeah, I agree. That didn't come up, and then Sam Wilson is in the post-credit scene. Sam Wilson is suing them over the name.
How?
He doesn't own the. If he owned the rights to the name Avengers, he wouldn't have needed a loan for the boat.
Exactly.
True.
It's merchandising alone.
But like Lauren said, the third act of this movie is fantastic.
Now, I kind of get those people that are ragging on it because they say it's a therapy session and you're kind of used to going to a superhero movie expecting a fight. But the thing that to me is remarkable about it is what I said when we were first talking about it, is that it is the best visual representation I think I've ever seen of anxiety and depression in a movie. Yeah. And such a good representation that it made me awful uncomfortable watching it. But it's also cathartic when they diffuse the situation. And in that sense, I thought it's the first time I've watched a Marvel movie in a long time that I thought this is actually a good message. And they delivered it the right way.
And they did something. They did something outside the Marvel formula, even though it is, as Pitch Meeting pointed out, it's the second Marvel movie in a row where the villain is defeated by getting someone to calm down. But
yeah, and he also pointed out
misogynist joke.
He also pointed out that they've got 3 Captain Americas on the team, which I still think is funny. But
that is funny. You got Bucky's a super soldier, John Walker's a super soldier, and Red Guardian is a super soldier. So all 3. By the way, I thought it was like difficult to like recreate Erskine's original formula. Like that was the whole point in a lot of the Captain America comics, that it's like impossible to replicate. The MCU, they're handing it out like Kool-Aid. Like everyone's a super soldier.
Wasn't part of it that Bucky was being tested on by Hydra because they were trying to make their own, and it was hard. But I'm obviously with him, they succeeded. But like, wasn't that part of the point? Was that it was difficult?
Well, they never officially said in Winter Soldier that Bucky had been given the super soldier serum. It was just that Hydra had experimented on him. Even in Civil War, I always got the sense that when they had recreated the super soldier serum, it was given to those operatives and not Bucky. So in Falcon and Winter Soldier, when they were saying he's a super soldier, I was like, is he?
Yeah, I just assumed that this whole time. I got that he became. I walked away from First Avenger thinking, oh, that was what happened to him.
Yeah.
He was being tested on for that.
Mm-hmm. It's possible. It's possible. But I feel like Bucky is so underutilized. He's not connected to the rest of the team. He just kind of shows up and is like, all right, numbnuts, follow me. Like,
I feel bad because I'm going to be behind in this conversation, and I know I'm going to have something to say about it.
We'll hear your thoughts next week on it. But Bucky feels like they were like, hey, we've got this great idea. It's a team, and it's going to be Black Widow and Red Guardian and John Walker and Ghost. And they're like, yeah, you need an A-lister in there with them too. Like, you need someone that people actually know and like, and that's how Bucky got put into this team.
I forget where I heard it, but I heard someone say when they were talking about the characters and about whether or not they're draws, and they were like, even Bucky. And then I got my little Bucky rankles up, but I was like, well, it could have been if they did the right things with him. So it's like, it almost felt like a little unfair to me to be like, no one wants to see Bucky. Because I'm like, I think people do, but they don't want to see the Bucky that you're doing. You know?
This movie should have been probably the second or third movie that came out post Endgame.
Yeah.
If you really wanted to kind of do the Avengers are gone thing, you know,
Yeah, it's been years and years and years that it's just kind of like all of a sudden you need a new Avengers so badly that I don't know. Yeah, the timing of it is off.
So what do you guys now think of them switching the marketing post-release where now they're calling the movie The New Avengers?
I think they canceled that.
Did they? Lauren, what were you about?
I think it's interesting because it's obviously pre-planned, and that tells me that they were hedging their bets because they didn't have faith. They were a little nervous, and they're thinking that this is somehow going to lead to a boost. But I think it's just going to undercut their purpose. If you're this desperate to get people into the audience, you're revealing one of your major spoilers, and that's not going to endear you to the audience. I think it was a mistake.
Mm-hmm. I think they were trying to create a viral moment.
Yeah.
And that's lightning in a bottle. You don't create that.
Yeah.
I wonder if it was always intended to change it right after the release, or if it was like, hey, we have this moment at the end of the movie. Let's shift the marketing after release because pre-sale tickets are not going well, because they weren't for a long time.
We've seen this before.
Birds of Prey and the fantabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn.
Yeah, after Sonic curb stomped the Birds of Prey, we scrambled to change the name of the movie because the name of the movie was the problem.
The name of the movie was Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn.
That is a mouthful.
They just and then they just changed it to Harley Quinn Birds of Prey, which should have been the name of the movie from the beginning.
Harley Quinn birds. You mean like Harley Quinn's birds? Or like they made it possessive?
Like Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey.
Or they're just like shoving Harley's name in there because
it's like Captain America: The Winter Soldier. It was Harley Quinn : Birds of Prey.
Oh, okay. I still don't like it, but okay.
Yeah,
not Harley Quinn's : Birds of Prey. That would be an entirely different kind of movie.
Yeah, that comic is coming out, but. It felt weird and it felt desperate. Now, Bob Iger has been praising this movie like it's Endgame, and I'm like, Bob, you realize it's not making money, right? Like, he's just so happy that like people are actually talking about it and they're actually like excited about it. So he is like, he's saying this is the first one of our movies that's going to be like the quality over quantity. And I was just like, no, it's not. Like stop it.
Maybe he's trying to capitalize on the fact that there's any good word of mouth and thinks that that'll drum up, even in investors, maybe he thinks like that's positive. We can like really ride on that.
Well, Bob was doing all the smoke and mirrors this week at the earnings call to try to make their nightmare quarter seem like a success, and then he managed to pull a Middle Eastern theme park out his butt to make it seem like he's a big success now, and it was just I could not stand it. But we did learn one thing this week, guys. We learned that none of the problems in the Marvel Cinematic Universe are Kevin Feige's fault.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Ain't that special?
Yeah, so we've learned a couple things about good old Kevin Feige.
He blamed...
Yes,
someone laughed because I heard someone laugh.
I know. Yeah.
He blames Disney for the massive influx of Marvel content. He says he's just trying to be an excellent corporate citizen. So, conveniently frames the MCU's bloated output as a noble sacrifice to the Disney C-suite rather than a miscalculation on Feige's part. But raises the question, why didn't the man in charge push back? Feige is not a powerless cog in Disney's machine. He's the single most powerful producer in Hollywood, and he had every chance to pump the brakes. And then he admitted that watching all of the Marvel movies and TV shows is become like a homework assignment. And I'm like, well, again, Kev, that's your fault. You're the one that did this. But, they also say he's overstretched, overcommitted, and under-involved. They said they have to chase him in the halls to get feedback. People who work at Marvel in the early 2020s said it was challenging to secure enough time with Feige to get his feedback. The article states that the implication here is that Marvel projects were failing because Feige couldn't be everywhere at once. But again, this shifts the blame to logistics, not leadership. It ignores that Feige... where was I there? It ignores that Feige willingly let the MCU balloon to an unimaginable size. My thing is, if you're not making decisions about Marvel movies, what are you doing all day?
Not being the guy, because he's never been the guy.
Exactly.
In an instance like this, what do you think Kathleen Kennedy's doing when she reads this article? Do you think she's punching an intern in the face?
Yes.
Going, who is this guy's PR team?
Seriously. Kevin Feige wants all the credit for all of the good things the MCU has done, but wants none of the blame. But here's the thing. When the MCU was good, it had Jon Favreau, it had Joss Whedon, it had the Russos. And now that it's bad, the only thing that's constant between both of those time periods is Kevin Feige.
Back then, it also had a guy who was looking at the outflow of money and saying, we can do this for much cheaper than that.
Perlmutter. They didn't want to be bothered with that. Now they're losing money hand over fist.
The budgets are always a thing that bug me. The budgets are so insane to me on these movies. Even the ones that don't have 97 of their characters in it.
It's like, why did Thunderbolts need a $200 million budget? You could have easily made that movie for $150 or even less.
The movie had three. The movie had 3 page 1 rewrites while in the middle of filming it.
That's the other problem. Is like, how about you just get it right the first? You didn't used to have this problem because you didn't used to have all these activist writers who are bulldozing everything. I can't even imagine what the Fantastic Four costs.
But Rick and Morty is so cool.
It's not anymore. Rick and Morty, I was just thinking about this yesterday because I saw it pop up on Disney Plus, where I'm like, that show has vanished from the conversation.
We've come a long way since the days of the special McDonald's sauce that everybody wanted to get.
Rick and Morty was a phenomenon, and then all of a sudden somebody was like, there's no female writers on that staff. And then, Captain Community over there, Dan Harmon was like, Dan Harmon is so cautious about getting canceled now after he almost got canceled that he was just like, oh, female writers. And then all of a sudden the show sucked.
And then one of them got a Marvel show. Why does the
Rick and Morty writing staff sound like Triple H?
Well, and then a lot of them got Marvel shows, didn't they? Like,
well, yeah, but I'm just saying their female writer got She-Hulk, like one of the big female writers for them.
Yeah. and then they got rid of Justin Roiland. That show, nobody cares about that show anymore. Nobody. I've not heard one person talk about it. It has managed to hit that Simpsons level of like it's still on the air, but no one talks about it in far less time than it took the Simpsons to do that by like decades.
Dirty Doctor Who just became Doctor Who.
Yep. Everything started being it became a social justice show, and that was I always said that Rick and Morty was what if the Doctor was American instead of British. And he was I loved it. I thought it was the most clever show on earth. That last season I watched, man, it was just bad. And they got close when they replaced the voices, but it's still far enough away that it was a jarring switch, and people were like, "That's not Rick, that's not Morty." So, but Marvel is at it again with its next, the quality over quantity is hitting with Ironheart. As Marvel uses Robert Downey Jr. to sell Ironheart ahead of Disney Plus release, explains why Riri is more remarkable than Tony Stark.
Literally no one on the planet is going to think that. Why even try?
Yep. She looked disappointed in us in that picture.
She did. Yeah. She's not mad. She's just disappointed. A spiritual successor with no actual link. In a new feature with Empire, Dominique Thorne, who plays Riri Williams' Ironheart, recounted her brief encounter with Robert Downey Jr., describing the interaction as an exciting exchange where the actor gave her a few words of encouragement and literally 2 thumbs up. The story is being framed by Marvel as some kind of symbolic torch-passing moment, with articles declaring Riri and Tony Stark to be spiritually linked in the MCU. There's just one problem. There's no actual link. Tony Stark dies before Riri was ever even introduced. They never met. They have no shared screen time, no storyline overlap, and no established relationship in the films. However, there's this other quote that's raising eyebrows. Thorne compared her character's background with Tony Stark's. She's dumpster diving, whereas Tony Stark was this bajillionaire. What she's able to accomplish is remarkable.
Where's the clip of what's his face in the first Iron Man screaming about how he did it in a cave?
Yes. Yeah. I was going to say he creates the first armor in a cave.
Like that's the first thing. The second it started, I heard him screaming.
Well, his heart is hooked up to a car battery. But no, you're more remarkable because you stole someone's technology and dumpster dove. Because you're our most precious resource, Riri.
I kind of thought we gave up on her. Like, I thought we introduced her and then we're like, oh, we're not. Yeah, we're just going to move on.
Oh, no, this show is happening. This show's happening and it's happening this year.
Didn't they shoot this years ago? Like, it's been in the can?
And she was in Black Panther.
This has been in the can for a while.
Black Panther came out years ago.
Yep. So, obviously they're trying to emphasize her resourcefulness, but dig a little deeper. It reads like an unnecessary and frankly dismissive contrast. Stark's origin story didn't begin in a Manhattan skyscraper. He built the first suit in a cave with shrapnel near his heart, using scrap metal and pure genius to survive. His wealth wasn't a shortcut. It was part of a larger arc about responsibility, sacrifice, and redemption. By framing Tony as a spoiled billionaire in contrast to the gritty and remarkable Riri, Marvel seems to be engaging in the same messaging we've seen before, propping up new heroes by downplaying the old ones, and instead of letting Ironheart stand on her own, the narrative is that she's more authentic because she comes from less. It's a tired playbook and one that's turning off longtime fans.
It's also really
they don't learn.
But think about what they're saying. Take all of the other stuff out of it, all of the reasons why. You're turning around and saying the linchpin to everything is not that great. So the reason everyone started to care about any of this and that you can do Ironheart, you're now saying is inferior. That is colossally mental to me.
When I read this quote, my first
I'll say
when my first thought when I read this quote was,
you can't keep getting away with it.
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
Like, he should have been untouchable to them. He should be like the one that they don't mess with in any way.
It should be it's big shoes to fill. She looks up to him. He's her idol. It's she respects what he's done so much and just wants to duplicate it. It's not. It's he was a billionaire, so he had everything in. No,
you don't understand. You don't understand. she's Riri Skywalker.
She is.
Well, I'm glad you brought up Skywalker because I'm about to make the point. Even Kathleen Kennedy didn't ruin Darth Vader. She did questionable things, but the core character of Star Wars, he was still not ruined. And now they're going to go and do this to Iron Man, who was literally the Ironheart of the whole franchise. It's incompetent. Feige, how stupid are you?
No, very stupid. Because this was intentional. This was, everybody forgets the Marvel Now initiative was all about swapping out the pre-existing heroes, especially if they were not melanated, and subbing in Stunning and Brave Women. And it bombed so horrifically. I don't think Ironheart, with as many releases as she's had, has ever made it past issue 4. She sells worse than Kamala, and Kamala can't sell a book. No one wanted this, and they knew no one wanted this, and they did it anyway. This was always going to fail.
It is a special kind of arrogance to take a character that has never had any sort of success whatsoever and being like, we're going to make it work. We're going to make people like it. It's going to be big because it's Marvel and Marvel can't fail. And that's when all of this was greenlit at the time when Marvel couldn't fail. When Captain Marvel made $1 billion, they were like, okay, we can sell them any Drek that we want.
I think that disingenuous.
Well, exactly. I don't think that I used to think that it was like they did that on purpose. I don't think they did. I think they misinterpreted Captain Marvel's box office as this is what people want. Not we sandwich this between the two biggest movies of all time, and people are desperate for anything new about it, and made it a post-credit scene.
I think you're being generous. This was all about the message. We're gonna give you the message whether you want it or not, and these failure characters were created so that we could port them in the movies. We killed everybody that you liked, or we retired them. This is what you're going to get, and you're going to love it because it's Marvel.
Back in the day, Stan Lee made Tony Stark because somebody basically told him, you can't make Howard Hughes a hero. People don't like him. He's, a war profiteer. It's Vietnam War. Nobody's going to like that. And so he's just flexing his muscles and did it. Marvel can't do that anymore because there's very few geniuses in the world. Stan Lee, in his field, was a genius. Kevin Feige is a decent producer.
And meanwhile, they want both sides of it because they're dipping into the Robert Downey Jr. well again. And so much of that is going to be predicated on people loving Tony Stark.
Well, now he's a bad guy, though.
But that's what I'm saying. So much of the emotional pull and to it is like, well, that's our Tony, but it's not Tony. So it's like he's either important or he's not, guys.
And to your point, Trish, if you don't mind, Kevin, real quick here. You have to, people who are going to see these movies, whether you're a fan, a casual normie, whatever, are going to go to these movies because they associate them with good memories. Even after the response of, say, The Last Jedi with Star Wars, people went to see Rise of Skywalker because of the good memories they had from either the OG, the prequels, Ewoks special, whatever. People associate memories with these characters in deciding whether they're going to the theater or not. Are you literally going to put this poison out on Disney Plus to where now people aren't just going to associate Iron Man with Tony Stark? They're going to associate the Iron Man character with this girl now. And now they're going to be like, well, maybe it wasn't as good as I thought it was all those years ago. It's been a long time since we've seen Tony Stark in a movie. And now all of a sudden you're probably going to be like, especially with Thunderbolts, where they put out a somewhat competent movie out and it's still not doing well. It shows a lot that the well can be poisoned and they're too dumb to pull this because this is going to hurt their image of Iron Man.
Well, and the villain is the Hood, which means they're doing technology versus magic. And I'm like, oh, the story you should have done for Iron Man 3, the in Iron Man, magic versus technology. It's the Hood, yeah.
Oh gosh, I still think they should have done Fing Fang Foom for Iron Man 3.
I really thought that we were going to get Fing Fang Foom at the end of Shang-Chi, and
They had a dragon. It could have easily been that.
So was it the Robert Downey Jr. is only back because of desperation.
Yeah,
they got nothing. They know they got nothing. The plan didn't work. Yeah, the plan didn't work. He thought that everybody would have forgiven him after he threw Victoria Alonso under the bus and then backed over the bus and then made sure she was under it a few more times. And he's still slowly starting to catch some heat. So he pulled a Bob Iger and just backed up a Brinks truck and got Robert Downey Jr. to come back with the Russos with some outlandish stunt casting.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, I wanted to talk about the Disney Abu Dhabi thing, but I don't think we're going to have time. I know, Lauren, you have to head out, so why don't you tell the fine people where they can find you? Then we'll go into the super chats, and then we'll probably head out for the evening. So, Lauren, go ahead.
You can find me on pro streams frequently, usually on Wednesday nights. You can find me here on Thursdays. You can find me with the Genre Guys, Lou Wasserman's Ghost and Hangry Table on Saturdays, I think, usually. I'm not sure that's when they release it. That's when we record it. You can find me at Lauren Connor on X and Lauren Connor 9030 on YouTube.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for being here, Lauren. We will see you next week, my friend.
Have a good time, guys. See you later.
Lauren.
Hi, Lauren.
All right, some super chats to get to here. Let's see. We only got a couple. So we got Siths and Giggles for $1.99 says D fights FL over DSG bill, but Disney fights Florida over the parental rights and education bill. I call it that because that's what it's called.
Yes.
But opens a park in Dubai. Or not Dubai. I'm sorry, not in Dubai. It's Abu Dhabi. Yes. Which I posted a video this morning where I was like, actual footage of Josh Tomorrow telling a bunch of 19-year-old girls that want to play Disney princesses where they're going to be living and working, and it's Garfield going, Abu Dhabi, that's where you'll go. Abu Dhabi. It's insane to me that this company can wag its finger and virtue signal as hard as they do, and then open a park in one of the most restrictive areas of the entire world where it's disgusting. And I feel bad for these girls that are going to go there with stars in their eyes to be princesses, and then they're never found again because they're going to walk down the wrong alleyway in this place. So
if I can chime in, if you don't mind here,
go ahead.
I wish that this was making the headlines like all the hatred of Snow White did, because it was like so fun to poke at a movie, but yet one of the most sickening things this company has ever done is just probably going to be swept under the rug for the investors. It's disgusting.
Look, it's not even so much that they're taking the money and that they're doing this. It's that they spend every waking minute virtue signaling domestically, and then they do business with China and the Middle East overseas. It is a double standard. It's hypocrisy. And you know what? You're starting to see these crazy activists that have like dedicated their entire personalities to Disney starting to finally wake up to it, because they're realizing that Disney never actually cared about them in the first place.
Exactly.
And by the way, this is this theme park. People were like, wow, it's going to be ready before 2030. Like it took them 5 years to build Tron Light Cycle Run. I said, yeah, when you're working with forced labor, things tend to get done very quickly. You don't care if you work people to literal death and you don't have ocean safety and environmental guidelines. You can get things done very quickly.
It's a great time to dust off those Prince of Egypt memes.
Oh, I know. Because make no bones about it, guys. Look into it, because that's how the World Cup in Qatar, those arenas were all built by forced labor, or prisoners with jobs, as Marvel would say. It's gonna be gross. It's gonna be gross, and I hate it. But all right, moving on. Regina Sharp for $5 says, okay, found a spot without cameras. so
Glom gold, glom gold, glom gold, glom gold.
So what did I miss? Oh, a whole lot of and then Liquid Fox for $2 Canadian says, have a great night, everyone.
The capital.
Liquid Fox is literally counting down the debt that he's imposed on himself.
You're back in the jar, lad.
Oh, did my thing switch?
Yeah,
you're good now.
Oh no, it's fine now. Yeah, it switched back to my regular mic. All right, guys. Martin Stone, tell the fine folks at home where they can find more about you and what you're up to.
Well, you can find me on T3PO, where today we released Somehow Restaurant Mascots Returned, which Nolan says is actually one of his favorite episodes we've done.
Oh, I'm into that. Yeah, I'll watch that one.
And
It's
then
a funny one, guys.
tomorrow, I believe we are releasing on That Park Place as a member exclusive, Somehow Captain Power Returned, or as I call it, Canadian Sentai.
Okay. Oh my god, fantastic, guys. Nolan Thunder, tell the fine folks where they can find out more about what you're up to.
Well, when I'm not over here with the homies or talking with Martin and Trish on the Lost Guys, you can find me on my YouTube channel at Nolan Thunder. I talk about video game mysteries, media mysteries, and internet mysteries. So if that's those type of documentaries interest you in B-movie horror, please check it out on my channel.
Awesome. Trish, what do you got to promote this week?
I'm trying to accept them above. Martin Nolan, Lost Guys, here, Thursdays. Occasionally wrestling, not this Saturday. I have a concert. Sorry, everybody. Yeah, but
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be late.
Yeah, it's fine. I think I've got and I'm gonna be starting it by myself. I think Awful's gone too. So Kevin Apollo, tell the folks where they can find out more about what you're up to. Oh, and this is gonna be at the show. So
I don't know. I'm around. I do stuff.
You do.
Sometimes on Tuesdays, sometimes
you and I are so similar. This whatever.
Mm-hmm. All right, guys, and for me, make sure you are checking out member exclusive content here. We're going to be putting up some more member exclusive content very, very soon. We're also going to be getting back to regular videos next week now that I am back and kind of more like easing into life again. And check out Tooney Talk Wrestling on Saturday when we go live for WWE Backlash. Check us out on Tuesdays for Tooney Talk Wrestling, and we have a new Headlock Headlines over there on Tooney Town Wrestling, so make sure you go check that out as well. Consider becoming a member. We have a lot of awesome perks here: early access to videos, member exclusive chat, or member exclusive stream. And no, we did not hit the goal, guys. We were nowhere close. we were like $200 away from it. So well, did I have anything else? Make sure you go into thatparkplace.com every single day, guys. I'm going to be posting some scathing editorials over the next 2 days about stuff in the video game industry, stuff with the Hollywood media. So make sure you're checking that out. Thatparkplace.com. Bookmark it. Go visit it every single day. 6 to 8 articles per day on everything: movies, TV, video games, theme parks, you name it. We got it over there. And folks, thank you to everybody who chatted, everyone who super chatted. Thank you to my wonderful panel here, and big thanks to Lauren Connor, who just left. For all of us here at the Tooney Town channels, I'm Marvin the Movie Monster. Now get out of here!
Now, Perry the Platypus, feel the wrath of my thank you-inator!
Thank you, you piece of trash.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you! Oh, I suppose you want me to say thank you. Well, you know what? Saying thank you is like jobbing.
Thank you! I got a little message. Thank you. Ooh, yeah!
Oh, thank you! Oh, thank you! Thank you! Thank you! Thank you! Thank you!
Thanks? For what?
Hi-ho from all of us here at Tooney Town. Thank you!
And viewers like you. Thank you.